Welcome back to another edition of Ball Don't Lie right here on 104.9 The Horn. Oh, the full Monty. We got a great show planned for you. We're talking lots of college football. The Big 12 media poll was released, so we'll tell you what the media thinks the Big 12 projections will look like for this upcoming season. Also, we have sound from Steve Sarkisian, the head coach of the Texas football team. He was on a podcast, on a YouTube show with Greg McElroy, Always College Football, so we'll get into that and also play some of that audio for you. We'll tell you about how you can meet and greet the starting quarterback from the University of Texas. All of that and more when we go behind the burnt orange curtain. And yes, Texas basketball with another big commitment. We'll discuss that next segment. We'll also talk NBA free agency. We'll give you all the updates. Mavs made a big trade yesterday. We'll also talk about some other moves being made across the NBA. And yes, Wemby mania continues. We'll talk about the Wemby effect on the summer league cost of games. And also, apparently, Wemby's bodyguard, not a fan of Britney Spears. We'll discuss that as well. All of that and more. Before we do, let's introduce you to the rest of the crew. He was a second-round pick for the Montreal Expos, but a first-round pick for the Austin Radio Network. He originally committed to the University of Texas, but decided to forego the 40 acres to chase his dream in the cheese. Pimping ain't easy, but for him, it's a breeze. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Hardball Harge. What's going on, brother?
What it do? Everybody be careful out there. You know when it starts raining in Austin, Texas, people seem to lose their mind, so be careful out there. It's raining a little bit, but just be safe out there. Man, it is an exciting time. There's so much football, so much anticipation for the season. We always talk about this is the time where everybody starts to turn it up a little bit because we're getting that much closer. We got media days next Wednesday, so that gets us even closer to the students being able to come back to school. But let me talk about my man that sits across from me. He hails from H-Town with the Get Down. He's a lifetime Longhorn and a proud card-carrying member of DBU. Legendary lifetime and now college football Hall of Fame Longhorn Derek Johnson said he was the best cover corner he had ever seen. He's a former NFL DB that still has that passion for film study, but he's not a fan of white condiments. But of course, he is a fan of you, the listeners. He is my man and yours, Rod Babels.
I appreciate the intro as always, and yes, I will echo your sentiments. Please, people, be careful on the road. It's basically these kind of flash showers, those sudden showers. Mm-hmm. I've had a few of them all day today, but the one I just drove through, I saw a fire truck out on 360 as a result of somebody having some issues with their car on the road. There were a couple of near wrecks that I saw. I'm talking about I was on the road for like 18 minutes. Like 18 minutes. And only like 10 of it was when it was raining. Right. And I still saw a couple of near wrecks happen because people were so taken aback and discombobulated by the weather. So please, people, be careful out there. No matter where you're going, not worth it to get there a couple of minutes early if you're going to put somebody's life in danger.
Hello.
Let's talk about a man who is the real MVP, one of the hardest working members of the ARN family. Got a hustle spirit, period. We don't know what he's paid, but we're pretty damn sure this man is underpaid. It's Patrick Davis, y'all. What's going on, Patrick?
We're one day closer to Wemby playing in a Spurs uniform.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the Wemby effect. Man, look at this. The Wemby effect is amazing. I mean, think about it. Dame Lillard requested a trade, I don't know, over the weekend. That's probably like on Saturday or somewhere like that, Friday. I don't know, whenever that broke. And then within 48 to 72 hours of that news, an NBA insider's like, you know what, the Spurs actually may be in on the Dame. I'm like, the Spurs? Spurs are never in on any big-time free agents, and yet the biggest free agent in the NBA offseason is like, yeah, the Spurs.
Put them in the conversation.
I keep hearing it. That's a Ramona Shelburne story there. We played the audio. And now we'll give you the story about the ticket prices in the Summer League now, just to get a look at Wemby. Those are through the roof. We'll give you that a little bit later on. But then this Britney Spears Wemby story. And it's not directly Victor Wembanyama. It's not about directly he who did something wrong or controversial here, but his bodyguard, I guess, or someone in his entourage decided that. I mean, the description is that it was a backhand.
You know how that goes.
I hope it was not a backhand. I hope it was like him trying to push somebody out of the way and it was an accident.
I would think so.
He accidentally, his back of his hand struck.
Like he turned around like somebody's hand was there.
Yes, he was like, hey, watch out.
And then your face just happened to be there.
Yeah. I hope that is it. If there was a true, there's got to be some video of this somewhere.
It happened in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
There's video of every square inch of Vegas now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hoping that's the case.
TMZ will have it. And I do believe that the bodyguard spoke to TMZ
did he already?
just recently. I'm going to send you that audio.
Okay.
so you could play it too. But yeah, it's already Wemby Mania is all over the place. He got stars wanting to be with stars. You know what I'm saying? I would have been more impressed if he would have been invited to the white party. You know what I'm saying?
Why didn't that happen? He probably had too much going on.
Yeah, I mean, he had a game on Friday. You know?
Exactly. We got to focus. He's trying to.
Yeah, he's trying to make a club.
Well, this is the guy that was asking Shuddy Elliott about how he can get more sleep on the road. Not about the best restaurants, best clubs,
like it.
happy and spicy. No, how you get good sleep on the road, man?
He's going to the Black and Silver party.
Yeah, there it is.
Where's that at? In San Antonio?
That's San Antonio every time.
What club is it at? You know?
Whatever one that
is that Pop's house?
I bet Tony knows where it's at.
I bet you Tony
definitely knows where it's at. Tony's probably throwing it. All right, so we'll get to Wemby Mania and all the NBA news, notes, and nuggets from free agency and discuss the Mavs as well. Mavs making moves. Tried to make another move and it fell through on them. But we'll get into what the Mavs are doing because the Mavs are actually, I think, making themselves a better basketball team. So we'll talk NBA top of the 4 o'clock. We'll talk basketball, Texas basketball specifically, next segment because Texas basketball got another big commitment. I believe as hard as I told y'all, don't worry. I know y'all was freaking out about what was going to happen to the Texas roster when, it looked right when the season was over like there was an exodus and a lot of attrition on the roster. And look what, Coach Terry has done in a short time. I just think that's the reality of the new world of college basketball with the transfer portal, NIL. You got to get used to living on that edge where, at the end of the season, you may have a ton of turnover, but at a school like Texas, you have to expect to, at times, not only replace the turnover, but even upgrade.
Right.
Over that.
And that's the other part, too. I'm glad that you brought that up because we always are rushing to judgment. And everybody, we live in this instant world where the sky is falling until they put a new roof on it. Right? You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, this is going crazy. He can't recruit, and all of a sudden, oh wait, we got a full roster and we look like we got better?
Speak on it.
Oh man, I can't believe that this happened. And it's like, bro, I mean, y'all been watching this for a very long time. This has been going on since been going on. Let's be patient and let these people go to work. And at the end of the day, when the season gets ready to start, they wasn't going to go out there with just 2 people.
Yeah.
They wasn't going to just walk out there with Brock Cunningham. Relax, folks.
The latest acquisition, Ethiel Horton. I like the name, Ethiel.
Yeah, I like that too.
It's like, I don't even know if that's biblical. Sounds like it. Ethiel.
Well, they're hoping he could come in here and lay hands in the bucket. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I've ever heard that name before. Ethiel. Have you heard of an Ethiel before?
No,
you guys
I've never
ever heard
met
of an Ethiel?
Nope.
All right. Okay, there you go. Unique. I like it. I'll give his parents a lot of credit.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll get into that coming up next segment. Gentlemen, let's talk about the Big 12 media poll that was released that earlier today by the media voted on who's going to win at least how the Big 12 will place and how teams will finish in the Big 12 this upcoming football season. I'm just not going to, I'm not going to lead with any other discussion here. Texas is right now, they are right now considered to be the premier team and the top choice to win the Big 12. 41 first-place votes for Texas.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it. This is something that we looked at, and I'm just glad to see that when you start looking at who's what, where, when, and why, you start looking at who the teams are, you're like, okay, I kind of like that. Okay, that looks about right. But the one thing that continues to make me laugh, not really laugh, but West Virginia. Come on, man. I told you earlier, Neil Brown, when we were going through the schedule, I don't think Neil Brown's going to make it through the entire season.
Yeah, I did. I think we all agreed. I think I posed the question, who do you think's going to finish last in the new look Big 12? I think we all brought up West Virginia as one of those possible, and U of H as one of those possible teams. They got U of H 12 out of the 14 teams, and they got West Virginia dead last, 14th. Here's the poll. Texas number 1 with 41 first-place votes. Then K-State with 14 first-place votes. Second, then Oklahoma. Third with 4 first-place votes, Texas Tech. Everything runs through Lubbock. Fourth with 4 first-place votes, they got TCU fifth, with 3 first-place votes. And then they have Baylor. Oklahoma State did get a first-place vote.
Oh, you know that came out of Oklahoma State.
Somebody. But they finished 7th in this poll behind Baylor at 6. Then there's UCF 8, Kansas at 9, Iowa State 10, BYU 11, U of H 12, 13 Cincinnati, and 14 West Virginia. There you go.
So just so I get this straight.
Get it straight.
They got the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, preseason Offensive Player of the Year, and they're expected to finish 9th.
I believe.
I don't think they're going to win. Then I don't think he's going to win Player of the Year.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Actually, if that's the way it finishes, then he's gonna have a hard time winning Offensive Player of the Year in the Big 12.
No doubt.
I do believe that they're gonna finish higher than 9th actually in the Big 12.
Right, me too.
Well, if he stays healthy.
Because that's what they were missing last year.
That was a big part of it
Yep.
because they were rolling when he was healthy last year.
No doubt.
But I do think if they stay, and I think Kansas, when I looked at it, man, Kansas has more preseason All Big 12 selections than Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma only has one.
No, Kansas has 4.
Yeah, Oklahoma only has one.
That's no way that's ever happened. Maybe, you know what? Maybe going back to the Mangino days, that maybe that happened. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time since Kansas can say they had more representation on the all preseason Big 12 team than Oklahoma.
No doubt.
That is freaking crazy. Just let you know about how much faith that the media has in Oklahoma. And I pointed this out when we were talking about Texas baseball. You know, it's just, you know, if you're thinking about it, what are the odds of Brent Venables being as good or better than a Lincoln Riley, who was the coach before him, or Bob Stoops in the history of sports, college or pro?
Mm-hmm.
It's just been, and Hard, you brought up the one example, maybe Pittsburgh Steelers, the only example of an organization or a program that's hired 3 Hall of Fame coaches in a row.
Right.
It just the probability. You know, it's just way out of this world.
Right.
And I think Oklahoma may be dealing with that reality, too. And Texas baseball also may be dealing with that reality, too.
Correct.
That, hey, man, the chance of hiring 3 Hall of Fame, having Grand Slam home run hires like that, 3 of them in a row are just really tough. If anybody can do it, it could be Texas baseball. If anybody can do it, it will be Oklahoma football. But we've only seen one example of that, arguably, in the history of modern sports.
Right.
And it's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Steelers are
we
it.
know how they operate. Or is your organization as good as the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Exactly.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
They are the Chick-fil-A of the NFL. They run things the right way.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, very
Yeah, they do.
efficient with what the decisions that they make at the top, and they're patient. Everybody's rushing to go and get this instant gratification again, going back to it. But now you sit back and you say, okay, yeah, this sometimes there are some things that happen in the front office. The leadership is all that it's all about when it comes down to it. If you got good leadership, you're going to have a successful organization, period.
Well, no, exactly. Oklahoma's had that. I mean,
Yep.
Oklahoma's,
Yep.
they've won 14. Play this. They've won twice as many Big 12 titles as Texas has competed for.
Yeah.
Texas
they can say that about
Texas
a lot
has
of
only
people.
competed for 7.
Yep.
They've won 14.
Yep. Yeah. That's,
So, so there's a lot of discussion on what would the drop-off be, because there's got to be some type of drop-off. Are we witnessing it right now? Let me ask you this about Texas, though, getting back to Texas instead of just their rival. How many times in the last 13 years, so we're going to start since 2010, all right, since the precipitous fall from grace for Texas football, how many times since 2010 in those 13 years has Texas met expectations and been able to live up to the standard of Texas football? Because that's basically what this poll is predicting. This poll is predicting
Yes.
that Texas is going to meet the expectation and live up to the standard of Texas football. What is that? Definitions obviously change, gentlemen. I would say just a loose definition of the standard of Texas football would be double-digit wins and competing for titles.
right.
That's kind of like the basic standard. I mean, I won 11 games 2 years in a row at Texas, and I was a disappointment. I played on teams that were literally a disappointment in 01 and 02 because we didn't beat Oklahoma and we didn't compete. Well, we competed for a title one of those years, but you get my point, right? That's how high, and that's how some people would say a little bit unrealistic the standard might be for Texas. But the standard is the standard. Don't let your expectations affect the standard. This is one of the few years in the last 13 years, since 2010, where people's expectation is actually for Texas to meet the standard.
Correct.
The expectation is, Texas is going to win and compete for a Big 12 title, and they're going to win double-digit games. So the expectations and the standard are actually the same. I would say you got to go back to Tom Herman in his prime when that was the case. And if you want to know the last time Texas actually met the expectations and lived up to the standard, it would be 2018 when Tom Herman was here. That was it.
We're back.
That was the last time.
That was
Yeah.
when everything. I personally thought they overachieved at that point because we weren't expecting them to get to the Sugar Bowl. We thought they were going to have a good team, but I never thought that they were going to be to that point, going in and crushing Georgia during that time. But to even back up what you said even more so, and it's ironic, my buddies who are now part of the Big 12 they're gaslighting right now. They're coming at your boy. They're going all in because they saw the same thing we saw. But they sent this out. One of the best college football bets to make over the last 13 years is the under on the Texas win total. Going back to your expectations. Since 2010, Texas has gone under its preseason win total in 12 of the last 13 years.
Yeah.
Going back to your point
2018.
about that year with Tom Herman.
I'm assuming 2018 is that only year that they
it
did.
is.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any of the other years they were expected to win 6 games. You know what I'm saying? There were some numbers that were in there like 8. Never got to it.
Yeah.
Never got to it. So this is ironic to me because I was a guy that was going to Vegas a lot at that time, and I was always racing to go and put it, especially because we got a great recruiting class. We got a great coaching staff that is coming in. Did y'all just see that we got Tom Herman? Oh, my God. You see what Charlie Strong did? So running to Vegas to put that money down. Loser, loser, loser. Every step of the way. But this year, I told you, I'm very bullish on the University of Texas. And it seems like a lot of people in the Big 12, the people that cover it, are kind of bullish on them as well.
Yeah, I mean, I see what everybody else sees, and I would like to be optimistic about Texas too. I'm a fact guy, I'm a trend guy, I'm a pattern guy, and like I said, Texas just in the last 13 years only done it once. And Mac competed for 5 Big 12 titles. Mac was here for 15 years, something like that. So basically, Mac competed for a Big 12 title, 1 out of every 3 years. Which means every class got a chance to at least compete for a Big 12 title, but Mac already knew the standard and was winning double-digit games. So this is the 3rd year for Sark. If he wants to be like Mac, all right, 1 out of every 3 years.
This is
time
your
to
time.
compete for a Big 12 title.
This is your time.
So it is. I agree. I think this is the year for Sark to prove himself as a high-level coach. And this Big 12 is not that I'm not saying that these teams are scrubs or anything, but it's not the most challenging league in the country.
Not because
not even close, actually.
Because of all the disparity that has happened at other programs, all the talent that has been lost at other programs. In Texas, they should be reloading, not regrouping. You are reloading. You should be ready to go, and that is what you expect year after year after year. And so that's going to be the interesting part, and I believe that's why you look at the talent, you look at who lost a lot of talent. I think that is why Texas is the favorite.
Yeah, but people keep talking about talent.
No, I understand that.
There hasn't been a time really in the history of the Big 12 where Texas hasn't been one of the top 3 most talented teams in the conference. And oftentimes, more oftentimes than not, they're the most talented team in the conference based on recruiting rankings and based on projections for players. You can argue attrition if you want to. I was telling people this a long time ago. You got to be careful bringing up attrition that people are transferring from Texas because it's happening at every school.
Right.
Every school deals with that now. Now people don't even bring up attrition anymore because they're like, oh, every school deals with it. Yeah, every school's dealing with it. It's not exclusive to Texas. So talking about talent drains, Texas is in no position to talk about, well, we didn't have the talent to compete that year. Yeah, you did. If K-State and Oklahoma State and TCU can win the Big 12, then Texas should be competing for it every year. Texas should be doing what Oklahoma did. 14 Big 12 titles.
14.
14 of them. Texas has 3.
And so does Baylor and K-State
Exactly.
after last year.
They could never brag about being the most talented team in the Big 12. Never.
Right.
Ever. Actually, ever. Best coach? Yes.
Yep.
Best developed? Yes. Better culture? Yes. Talent? No. Those teams, basically, Oklahoma's the only team that could back in the day that could argue, oh, we got as much talent as Texas, if not more.
Yep.
And oftentimes, that was a flawed argument. Texas talent just wasn't being developed. So the four issues for Texas have been talent development, culture, and coaching. Talent is not an issue. I don't think it is. Some people do. I don't think it is. I don't think it ever has been. Never an excuse. I don't give a damn what your talent level is. You're at Texas. You can't go 5-7 because you got way more talent than most of those teams in the Big 12. Culture.
And some teams you can strictly beat on talent.
I like the culture that Sark has right now. It's a good culture. So I won't even criticize the culture. It's a damn good culture. Transfer portal is a great example of the good culture here at Texas. Guys want to be here and they want to play here. Development, great job developing the talent last year. Hopefully it continues. No reason to think it won't get better or continue. He's bringing in better coaches, upgrading the coaching staff. We'll get into that a little bit later on, too. Coaching is the only issue.
Yep.
That you can throw a question mark around and be like, hey, I'm not sure about the coaching. Hey, if you know, quarterback room right now, people are saying is one of the best in the country.
Rightfully so. Just by, again, the talent word, because of all the stars you have in there, the way that we saw Malik, who we hadn't seen in a while, obviously Arch Manning, but Quinn Ewers is the one that I'm thinking is stirring the drink right now.
Yeah, because if you underachieve this year, it will be because of coaching. Mark my words.
Yep.
It won't be talent, because talent has never been the issue at Texas. I don't even think it's coach. I think the coach is pretty damn good, and I think the development's pretty damn good. It will be coaching, because with all 5 losses last year are one-possession losses. Where if the schematic advantage can put you over the top, and it can come from a lot of different places, but a schematic advantage, I do think, gets you 2 more wins last year,
Right.
and gets you to double digits.
And, oh, man, yeah.
So that's where that's where I am. Last 13 years, it's only been 1 year where Texas has met the standard and lived up to the standard and met expectations. 1 year.
Yeah.
That's it. So this would truly be a changing of the guard here in Texas recently.
Yeah. This is the time, though. We've been talking about it. What'd you say? 3rd year, right? Mac Brown, 3rd year. Every 3 years, Mac was competing. Well, Sark, you are in the prime position. And again, his voice states that he understands what it's all about. The way that Sark has carried himself, the way he's talked to other people, the way he's done these interviews, and the way he's carrying it. I'll still go back to the pivot. Guys, this looks like my team. They act like my team. I finally feel like I'm in a position that this is my team. And so he's at that point. So let's go see what happens. And you're right. It all comes down to coaching. It always is going to come down to coaching. Which sideline is going to be better coached? And that's what it comes down to.
Sark was on with Greg McElroy, the Always College Football Podcast. We got a ton of sound and audio thanks to Patrick, the hardest working man on the airwaves these days. But that's because Craig Way's out, by the way. That's why I said these days. Because Craig Way's out.
That's great. Yeah.
Usually you're just second to Craig Way. But no shame in that, by the way. No shame in it at all. But he was on with Always College Football, and he was asked about those close losses last year, right? And you had five losses by 1 possession. Hey, man, as a coach, you got to find a way to win half of those. 2 of those, 2 out of those 5, that gets you double digit right there.
Yep.
Here's Sark talking about growing from those close losses.
I think so. I looked at, 2 years ago, we couldn't find a way to win any of those games. And we were all our losses the year before were tough, heartbreaking losses. Last year, definitely some tough losses when you think about Oklahoma State or the Texas Tech game. Games we really felt like walking out of there, we just gave one away. But I also looked to last year. I looked to, going into Kansas State and winning that game in a tight ball game in the 4th quarter. I looked to the Baylor game at the end of the year when we were behind in the 4th quarter, and then kind of take over that game and go win it in the 4th quarter. So I see the progress. Obviously, we're not a finished product yet, but I definitely see the progress, and I'm kind of proud of the mental makeup of our guys because they showed a lot of resolve throughout the season. And to me, that all came to fruition in that Baylor game in the end because, in our minds, we were playing to get into the Big 12 championship game. We didn't know what was going to happen the next day. We had to win that game to give ourselves a chance, and to go into a game down in the 4th quarter and then to come back and find a way to win it, that was really encouraging for me.
All right, there you go. I mean, he's right, though. There were games last year, they found a way to win. We talked about Jalen Ford making clutch plays, defense making clutch plays, whether it was K-State or you're talking about that Iowa State game, even Baylor down the stretch there, they made some clutch plays. So they found ways to win games. They got to find ways to win a couple of more.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
There was some big opportunities to put yourself in the Big 12 championship game, and you went away from your bell cow, so to speak, and tried to do it a different way. And that goes back to your point, coaching. Coaching matters in these situations. But I'm looking at Sark totally different. I got a clean slate with him. I think he's shown a lot more. He's always been a confident coach, right? He's always believed in himself. But I think now he's in a totally different space because I think he realizes that everyone else believes in what he's talking about as well, too.
Yeah, that's a good point. CB points out Texas is currently in the longest drought in school history without a conference championship for Texas football. Yeah, it's been. That makes sense. It shouldn't be this long. Texas should never go. Like I said, I thanks for the stat there, CB, but I don't think Texas should go 10 years without a championship of some kind.
Agreed.
Texas football.
Agreed.
That's just how I feel. Now, I'm not saying national title. I know that stuff, but conference title, you're supposed to win one every 10 years. Yeah. That is not crazy. That's not crazy.
No, and it's going to be crazier when we go to the SEC. But in the Big 12, it shouldn't be crazy.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Yeah, the Big 12, that's not crazy. The SEC, well, you know what? For Texas and the SEC, it depends on what type of year they can have this season. Because I'm not going to lump Sark in with Herman and with Strong, because right now I love the trajectory of the program. All right, I love it. He hasn't had a regression yet. Terrible start, but not a regression yet. Guys are getting better. Program's getting better. If he
getting guys drafted.
If they don't win more than 8 games this year and get to 10 wins, then people will see it. Don't compete for a Big 12 title. People will see it as a regression.
Yes.
And that's what happened to Tom Herman, right? 2018. Then you get 2019. Everybody's like, whoa. 2018, you regressed in 2019? How'd that happen?
Right.
And then we saw the collapse and implosion. The program collapsed on itself like a dying star. All right. And so for Sark, everybody wants to see the linear progression. If he this year can win double-digit games, compete for a Big 12 title, the confidence level will be extremely high for the fan base going into the SEC. If not, then Longhorn fans will carry the baggage they've carried from all the other old coaches into a brand new SEC with Sark, and they'll be thinking to themselves, when's the other shoe going to drop? And they'll be thinking about the bad things that are going to happen and not the good and the optimistic view of things.
That's why I'm trying to clear my head with it, right? I'm trying to cleanse my palate of some of those bad situations that we've been a part of. And now I'm looking at it and forward thinking. I'm all in with the thought process that this is Texas's year, and not to the point national championship or anything like that, but to the point of Texas should be playing for a Big 12 championship.
Agreed.
No doubt about it. The Big 12 media guys, I've already said that. National pundits are looking at Texas, but as we've talked about before, we're from the show me state. You gotta show me now. It's put up or shut up, and that's how I strongly believe in that.
Yeah, no, I want Texas this year to finally meet expectations, live up to the standard, and I'm going to drink the Kool-Aid. Mm-hmm. I'm going to drink whatever the substance is, hoping that it's Kool-Aid and it's not Flavor Aid. All right? Now, that's the faith of Longhorn fans, that you got to use faith and go into this season just hoping and praying that, all right, they live up to the standard and meet expectations, and then, turns out, yes, the substance that we were consuming, it was Kool-Aid. But, 12 out of the last 13 years? When you've been at this point in the offseason and you start chugging whatever that substance is, and then you get deliriously drunk and intoxicated on that substance, and then midway through the season, or sometimes even during the Texas Tech game this past season, you realize, oh, damn, I was drinking Flavor Aid and not Kool-Aid. It wasn't Kool-Aid. It was Flavor Aid. Yeah. Oh, damn.
You went Florida Evans on it?
Right?
You went Florida Evans?
That's happened to Longhorn fans 12 out of the last 13 years.
Yeah.
You was like, it's going to be Kool-Aid. No, it's been Flavor Aid. It's only been Kool-Aid once, that 2018 season.
No doubt.
Right back to Flavor Aid the next year. Yeah. So that, I think, is the struggle. I'm going to drink it. I'm drinking it. You guys know I'm drinking it. But I wouldn't be surprised if I end up like, damn, man, this is Flavor Aid again.
Is this the one that you made yourself when your dad didn't want you to get lemonade? No. Is this the one you made? But you put enough sugar in it, though.
No, my mama would buy the real stuff. My dad would only buy the fake Flavor Aid.
Yeah.
And I'd never drink the Flavor Aid. It just piles of it over there that Pops had collected. Nobody would drink that stuff because nobody wants Flavor Aid. You only want the Kool-Aid because the Kool-Aid is the good stuff.
Right.
And hopefully Texas football this year is the good stuff. That's what we want.
I want the goods.
Yeah, but hey,
give me that deep ball, baby.
Exactly.
Connect on that deep ball, baby.
But you know what? I'm drinking it, man. I'm drinking it because I can't. I'm not gonna. It's like a new relationship. Just because you've been screwed over and you've been cheated on and you've been dogged and disrespected in every past relationship you've been in the last 13 years doesn't mean that this person that you just started dating is also an a-hole and a D-bag like the rest of them. Doesn't mean that. And if you don't go into the relationship with kind of an open mind and with an open heart, you never can experience the entire kind of spectrum of joy, all right, that you have in a relationship. You'll always be limited in the ceiling of your relationship because you don't trust enough to be open enough for your intimacy and for communication to get to the depth so that you can have the fulfilling, profound connection with another person. All right? And that's the same thing about Texas football. If you don't open up to the year this year and you're not trusting or distrusting of Sark, you're not going to enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
You want to enjoy it. You want to enjoy the ride, so let go and let God.
Yep.
That's what Mama used to always say. Let go and let God. That's what we're going to do.
Take the wheel. Take the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of all gas, no excuses, no. Let go and let God. It's all gas, no excuses. The hype train has no brakes. So what do? The hype train, it could crash into the side of a mountain. It could rail off into the ocean, off the bridge, into the river or something.
But the Lord got me.
Exactly. You let go and let God. I'm gonna pray on it. So that's what we're going to do.
I love it. But everything does not run through Lubbock. I see your text.
I like that. Oh, God. That's the last game of the season, too.
Oh, yes.
You imagine Lubbock spoils your plans to go to the Big 12. That's why Texas Tech season, even if it's a failure, an abject disappointment, they still got hope because they can spoil everything for Texas. And Joey McGraw will still get a contract extension. He beats Texas. It's the last game of the season, right?
Yeah.
Oh, could you imagine your Big 12 hopes dashed by the Red Raiders?
Right.
Can't get your grades up, get your guns up. All right, we'll come back. Talk Texas basketball on the other side right here. Speaking of Lubbock, right here on Ball Don't Lie, 104.9 The Horn. Welcome back to Ball Don't Lie right here on 104.9 The Horn. It is a new theme Thursday edition of Ball Don't Lie. That means my man Patrick, the Ideallionaire, plays jams and songs. It's supposed to give Harge and I clues and hints that lead us to the new theme of the day. And I got nothing from the first one. What you got, Harge?
Sounds like we're going to be dealing with a lot of rock music today. That's
Wow.
what I'm thinking.
Mate, is that the case?
No.
No?
Yeah, I was like, yeah. Oh, no.
Well, I was
there's
saying
some on
there could
here.
have been a theme of rock music, like bands that might be coming to Austin or something.
I mean,
Who is
this
this?
is U2.
I think they've already been here.
Could be. All right, so new theme Thursday. We'll see if we can get better hints and clues
I had no
with
clue.
the second song. Yeah, I got nothing out of that one. And I don't listen to a lot of U2, so I don't even really recognize the song.
No, and I will tell everybody in the text line, it is not a midweek movie music, but that song is from a movie. It just happens to also
What
be
movie is
from
it
a movie.
from?
From Batman Forever.
Oh. Okay, let me guess. Is Batman Forever? I'm trying to think of which one. That's not George Clooney? Who's that one?
I think it is.
Is it Clooney or Val Kilmer?
It
Which
may
one?
be the second Val Kilmer.
Is maybe the
though.
Kilmer? It's Kilmer and Clooney's one of those Batmans,
It might be
right?
the second clue.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
remember though.
those were kind of weird ones, weird Batmans. Okay,
It is Val Kilmer.
it was a Val Kilmer one.
Yeah.
Those were they were trying. They were still trying to balance. It was the kind of the transformation, the metamorphosis of the Batman just genre of comic book movies, where they were basically trying to go from the laughable, funny Batman's plots and concepts, where some of the the jokes and everything were almost a caricature
Yeah.
of the villains, and now they're way serious. Like the last Batman was like a Hitchcock murder mystery. I'm talking about sick Hitchcock murder mystery, and it was real dark, and no comedic. Like there was no comedic instances within the plot. There was no jokes or anything like that. And the old Batmans had a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
There were a lot of one-liners, a lot of jokes. There were a lot of comedic points in the movie.
It
but-
would have been really great because I didn't see the most recent one, but I'd like to imagine that it would work if you just had it really dark, and then they would get in a fight scene and it would go bam, pow.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
just put that into the really dark thing. Like, really, you guys
Yeah.
are gonna add that?
I know, because that's when Batman originally hit the screen, was with that, right?
Yeah, with
that,
Adam West
back
back
in the day. Yeah, him and Robin, and it was funny. They were dropping jokes, and they would dance, and they have little scenes where they would break out into dance every now and then. It was, I used to watch it all the time. And Batman, over the last, I don't know when that come out, 50 years ago or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah,
The
How long ago
original
was that?
Batman.
Something like that?
60s, right?
50s, yeah, it was like 50-something years ago.
I used to watch that, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Batman has now turned into something totally different. This transmogrification has been now turning into something dark. It's almost what happened to hip hop. Remember, hip hop at first was like fun loving and like, let's go to the club and dance.
Will Smith.
Yeah, exactly, right? It was all this fun loving, good natured stuff. And then gangster rap came along and was like, okay, well, it won't be that anymore.
No.
That's Batman.
Now mumble rap is taking over.
Exactly. Yeah. You'll never see that PG-13 version again of Batman. All right, let's get to Texas basketball here, because big news for them, great news for them. They got a commitment, gentlemen, via the transfer portal from Ethio Horton. He's a transfer from UCF. He was scheduled to visit Kansas after he visited Texas, but he never made it. He canceled that visit to Texas and to Kansas and committed to Texas. He has 102 games of college experience. He also before going to UCF, he was at Pitt before he went to UCF. So he's had a couple of stops, and is a guy that can score off the ball if you need him to, but also a guy that can score if you need him with the ball as well. So another big time pickup and acquisition for Texas basketball.
It's huge. It's huge. And again, we went through the fact that people were freaking out because they didn't think that Coach Terry was doing enough. Oh, I don't see y'all messed up by giving him the job. It's like, you know that he's a recruiter by trade. That is who he is. He can talk to you and get you to come to the University of Texas. Matter of fact, he can make you not go visit Kansas.
That's impressive.
That is very impressive. And you're bringing in a kid that's going to come in and he's played 102 games in college. More experience for your squad and what you're looking for to try to take your team to the next level. And this is the other part. Now he's starting to get the players that he wanted, not the players that Coach Beard wanted. These are the players that Rodney wanted because he wants to play a more up and down the floor type of basketball game. He wants guys to get out in the open floor and be able to run. And he wants guys to score the basketball. And what better way to do it than going to get another scorer from another league, which, by the way, you're going to end up playing them guys this year.
Yeah, you will.
UCF is in our conference now, so you're going to get a chance to have an inside scouting report on the team that you're going to play too. So I think it's a good move for them. You got Max what is his name? Asmus. Max Asmus that is there too that can score the basketball. So you've got some guys that are put in place now that Coach Terry can feel real comfortable about going into this season.
Yeah, and I mean it gives you depth.
Yeah.
And, it's a long season. You want to be able to find the guys in your lineup that
Guys
come
get banged
tournament
up.
time that are going to be able to play you the good minutes, but also be able to keep your team fresh. And I think that was something that you struggled with a bit at the end of last year was you just kind of had your guys and you had to ride with them. And at the end of some games, you may have started to get a little bit tired if you weren't able to pull away early in that game. We saw some teams come back on you pretty well. So I think adding depth just to kind of spell everything for a while and, experience depth is a really good thing to have guys that are going to be able to come in, make an impact, play on, play in front of a big crowd and be able to do it with, knowing the right thing to do in the right moment and not just kind of filling out depth with freshmen and stuff like that where you're going to get a lot of guys who, when they get on the court, want to shoot immediately and want to make an impact immediately. You can get someone who's a little bit older and go, okay, you can make the right play, and you know how to move without the ball better.
Mm-hmm.
Something that comes with time is understanding getting off the bench and not immediately going to the top of the key and calling for the ball, but to go run around and get open for a three, and then even if a guy comes out on you, you can cut to the basket. Those types of things are big. It's just to fill out a roster, he's doing a really good job. I think you're pretty much there. If you get one more big guy in there that you could, then that wouldn't be a bad thing. But other than that, you're pretty good right now.
And he's got an 80% free throw shooter, clutch at the end of games. That's what you need too. You need guys that are going to be in the game late and knock down free throws because you know as well as I do, the games do come down to free throws.
Yeah, he's a guy. Also, he's decent from 3-point range too.
Yeah,
it's around close to 38% 3-point shooter for his career. That's not bad. And 6'5". Well, a little under 6'5".
So he reminds me of Timmy Allen. Then he's gonna be like that, but he's gonna be a better scorer than Timmy Allen because Timmy Allen's
I think he's gonna play.
That guy.
I don't know if he's gonna play huge minutes.
Yeah.
But I do think he'll be able to be a piece of the team and spell some guys. But there's a lot of guys on this team that come up, and you're going to be fighting for a spot, but that adds competition in practices, which makes practices that much better. And the better you practice, usually the better you play. And so you need that,
Yep, I agree with that. No, it's a good point, though, about the competition on this squad. And I can't wait to see what a Rodney Terry coach team with the entire offseason and, of course, now building the roster the way he wants to, as Harsh mentioned, what it's going to look like. That's going to be really interesting. But I did hear Jeff House say on Light the Tower that Rodney Terry at the top of his list of targets in the transfer portal were Max Asmus and Caden Shedrick. They were their top two targets in the transfer portal, and they got them.
They got those guys.
They got their top two guys. Got to give them credit for getting their top two targets in the portal, and then they've been able to fill in the roster with some other acquisitions via the portal. Got how many? 5 now via the portal this year?
Yeah. And
leave Rodney alone, folks.
And that's part of it, too. I know everybody wants to get the big name guy, but when you're in competition with some other people and you're trying to make your money spread around to get a full roster and everything else, it's just not always feasible to put all your eggs into one basket. And we've seen that with Kentucky recently, that they've had some problems because they will go, we want only star players. We want only guys that are going to be top 10, top 15 picks in the draft. And he's not having – Calipari's having a harder time filling out a roster because you swing and miss on at least half of those guys.
Yep.
And then you're like, well, crap. And now I have to go –
waste time
and
trying
now
to get those
all these other guys go, oh, you only want me because – well, Rodney Terry went to Shedrick and went to Asmus first, and they respected that, and now they're here on the 40 acres. So I think there's something to be said about building a team where you went into it with an idea of we can do this, we can accomplish this, and I think this is going to get us close to our goal of being able to compete for a national championship. And it's a good way to think of going about it instead of, hey, let's just swing for the fences, and if we hit a grand slam, great, but What if the bases aren't loaded?
What if you strike out?
What if you strike out?
And then, yeah, no, it's a good point. It's about
You take a fastball down the middle because you were sitting on breaking ball. You know what I'm saying? That's how that happens.
That's deep. You went way deeper in the analogy that time. But no, I love the point that Patrick made too. I think about this in the NIL world, in the transfer portal era that we live in. You have to walk the fine line between, all right, we want to get the best possible talent that we can get, that we can acquire, but hey, man, we only got so much time and it's only so much money that we can spread out via the NIL world that we live in the NIL fundraising that they can generate, and also how much time you have to recruit guys.
Right.
They're being recruited by other teams, too.
Well, you got to try to keep people
list.
there. You know, think about it. Yeah. They got lucky because not only did they find the right people in the transfer portal, you got a Tyrese Hunter back. You got a Dylan Mitchell back. You got a Dylan Dessou back.
Exactly.
Those are things that were in the works before, but everybody's looking at it because kids nowadays, everybody's going to jump into the portal. I mean, you'd be wrong. If you're a talented player, you'd be crazy not to even think about it.
And for the record, one
That's
player
renegotiation.
from Texas went into the portal.
Arterial Morris. Well,
one did.
And Roman Brumbaugh.
Oh yeah, Brumbaugh did
Yeah,
too.
Brumbaugh
That was somewhat different.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to get playing time really, and I hope the best for the kid. But he went
to Georgetown.
He went to Georgetown. He's from DC.
Yep.
He went home.
Yep.
So I think it was more. There was other issues I think involved in that as well. But yeah, you basically you lost two guys that weren't playing a ton of minutes for you. Tyrese Hunter didn't go into the portal, and Dylan Dessou didn't go into the portal, and Dylan Mitchell didn't go in the portal. They tried the draft out.
Yep.
But there's a big difference between, hey, I may want to further my career, or I don't like you anymore, but I'm staying in college. There's a big difference between that, and so I think that speaks a lot for Rodney Terry.
Yeah, the only way to determine your market value, as Harsh mentioned, is to go into the portal and see what your actual market value is. You don't know that. You assume that your NIL deal, wherever you are, is paying you market value, but you don't really know that until you go into the portal. And we know you cannot even be induced out of the portal, technically.
Yeah, or you can go home for a weekend. And you go home for a weekend, and you might find out your value.
Exactly. Xavier Worthy.
Exactly.
You can pound a little bit, be like, I think I deserve a little bit more, and you can get it. So it's just no doubt it's a new world of negotiation, and I do think it's interesting for the coaches. You got to play it right. You got to know, I think we can get a Dylan Dessou back. Really? Coach, we can get him? I think we can get him. We got to get some money together to get him. We got to be a little bit patient in our approach, but I think we can get him. You got to be very, and like it's almost right there going out back in the day when I was single. You guys probably, obviously, my man Patrick's still single, so he can relate to it. But when you just go out and listen, you only got a certain amount of money when you go out, and you only got a certain amount of time. Say you get to the bar, say it's midnight when you get there, bar closes at 2. You got probably a half an hour after that for parking lot pimping outside the club. All right, so you got 2.5 hours to try to get some top-notch talent and close the deal. But you only got so much money, and if you hit certain groups, that man, I got to pay for all the drinks for all those women, and she looks high maintenance. Damn it, I don't know if I can do that. She is a 10, but I only got so much money and so much time. So let me go hit on this 8 over here. I know I can get that 8.5, and you know what? I can close that deal quickly. Matter of fact, I might get that number, and I can work on another 8. I might be able to close the 8, then go work on the 10. But you gotta be very judicious about how you spend your time and your money.
Yeah.
That's the
And
transfer.
they feel the same way, by the way.
Exactly.
They feel the same way.
You don't want to be wasting all your time in the club with somebody who ain't gonna, be willing to, hook up or willing to listen to you, hang out. They don't like you. They're not attracted to you. You don't want to spend your time wasting your time, all right, with that person. No. You want to spend your time wisely, and I think the same thing is true for when you're recruiting in the offseason, man. You got to spend your time and your money wisely. Because the NIL, you got to spread that out.
Just walking up to the bar to get a drink and walk back, and someone else is talking to her.
Exactly.
These guys at the bar.
Hey, you should have waited for the waitress.
Yeah, exactly. No, everybody's been there like, no.
You walk
You
back.
want to come with me? You want to come with me?
You walk back and
Handcuffing.
Yeah.
UNC's over. UNC and Duke are talking to her. Come on,
man. I left for 5 minutes, man.
All I wanted was a drink.
You got 3 drinks in your hand for the whole crew.
Well, now I got to find someone that likes her order.
Oh, see, I know y'all can relate to that one. All right, we'll come back. We got the flex on the other side right here on Ball Don't Lie. Wonderful Nothing Horn. Oh, man. Welcome back to Ball Don't Lie right here on 104.9 The Horn. New Theme Thursday edition of Ball Don't Lie. That's when Patrick, the Idillionaire, plays songs that are meant to give us clues and hints that lead us to the new theme of the day. Okay. I like the song.
Is this McConaughey?
No.
Oh, okay.
He did create the Moody Center's
did.
title theme song, right?
He did.
Okay. We're going to be bad at this. Hard, you got anything?
I have zero idea.
What's the name of this song?
I can't give you the name of the song.
Oh, that might give it away, huh?
Who's the artist?
I can tell you it's by Exile.
That helps.
I mean, this is Exile's hit, so.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't have anything right now. I'm sure if I listen to the actual words of the song, maybe it can help me out. That's terrible radio. So, we won't do that.
We'll just listen to this whole song.
Yeah. Trying to listen to the chorus of it to see
It's
if
coming here.
to give me a little hint here. Ooh. All right. All right. Hard, you got anything?
If they're kissing all over,
Kissing all over. Got nothing, huh?
I got nothing.
I know, me either.
I got nothing. This is good,
All right,
Patrick.
we'll get in the 4 o'clock.
All right. Flex, FLXATX.com, FLXATX on all your social media platforms. Go check it out for yourself. You can go there and get all of the rewinds of the old Flex shows. Remember, the Flex is done for now. But also, speaking of the Flex, we're going to have our all Flex watch list announced.
Here in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, right now, I think they're finalized it or they're finalizing it.
They're finalizing.
As we speak. So you'll have your look out for your all Flex watch list that should be up for the all Flex, the best football players in the all Flex area, I should say, upcoming this season. That should be up at FLXATX.com next couple of weeks. We'll give you some more details about that.
While you're over there, make sure you get a preview of the District 12 6A. District preview. Derek Cohen did this, and it breaks down all the good players and the teams in the district that are going to be there. And they also highlight Will Hammond. They highlight the players on the Hutto football team and the Weiss football team as of right now. And I believe that it's going to be happening all week long.
Nice.
Yep.
I like that. Will Hammond getting a lot of love.
He's getting a lot of
these
love.
days.
Just
I've
got a
noticed that.
4-star. Got his 4-star.
Yeah, I've seen him getting a lot of love, and he is committed to Tech.
Texas Tech. There it is. Because everything runs through Lubbock.
Hey, man, Tech's got a lot of momentum. One thing Jordan McGuire is doing a hell of a job of is recruiting out there. I think last time I looked, they were a top 25 recruiting class, that 2024 recruiting class. So Jordan McGuire doing some big things and a lot of expectations right there in Lubbock. They still, did they get, are they trending for Micah Hudson, or are they already
I think
closing
no,
in?
they haven't. I don't
They're
think they've
trending
closed
for
it.
him.
They're definitely
They're trending
for him.
right now. That'd be a big get for Texas Tech if they can get one of the best receivers in the country.
Also, shout out to the Round Rock Dragons. They were crowned Division I 7-on-7 state champs. You might have mentioned that last week. I was out, but I do want to give them a shout out. Kudos to the Round Rock Dragons. And we got a chance to meet Mason Cochran face to face. And he had an interception in the state championship game. Because remember, we kept saying he's a linebacker.
They recruited him. He's getting offers as a linebacker.
Yeah.
Even though he's playing quarterback for him, and he is a hard-nosed guy. Okay, I gotta guess for New Theme Thursday.
Okay.
Is it about something with the body? Is it bikinis?
It's not bikinis. No.
Something about bodies?
That was great. That was great, though, because National Bikini Day was yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I saw Selma Hayek in a bikini.
We all
she
did.
reminded everybody about that.
Yeah.
Okay. But it is something about bodies and stuff, maybe. Okay. All right.
Is it for the hammock bone for Mike Trout?
By the way, he was right. They came out and said he's having the surgery out 4 to 8 weeks.
Told you.
I just told y'all that yesterday.
I'll let y'all know,
He was
man.
like,
especially when you got experience in the thing.
Yeah. I said handmade bone. First time I heard of it was yesterday.
Yep.
Then turns out Harge broke his handmade bone.
No doubt.
All right, we come back. We'll discuss NBA free agency and what happened with Wemby and Britney Spears. That's a real story.
I like
right
it.
here on Ball Don't Lie, 104.9 The Horn. Welcome back to Ball Don't Lie right here on 104.9 The Horn. It is a new theme Thursday. The Idealionaire, Patrick Davis, plays jams and songs. They're supposed to provide us with clues and hints about the new theme of the day. All right.
It's got to be that.
It's got to be. That was two songs talking about putting your mouth on.
Three songs.
Oh, the first one I didn't really recognize.
The first song was called Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me.
Ah.
Was the name of that first one. Then
Okay.
Kiss Me All Over by Exile, and then Kiss by Prince. It is International Kissing Day.
Oh, shout out to female listener number 17. She did ask if we were kissing today. I guess that's
We are
probably
not, but
the hint.
internationally.
There you go.
Internationally in the 512.
International Kissing Day. It's a day for every damn thing these days.
Okay.
All right, there you go. All right, I like that. So lots of songs that are all about kissing, smooching, and a lot of beautiful lip play. I'm sure. A lot of other very creative songs about that. I'm trying to think about songs about kissing. I'm sure there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I can't think
There's
off
a
the top
few.
of my head. It's a bunch of them, I'm sure.
There's a few.
All right. So thanks to my man Patrick, the Idealionaire, always hooking us up on a new theme Thursday. You can be a part of the show. Specs text line is the best way to do it. 512-337-3776. We'll get into some NBA discussion here. Lots of discussion, of course, about Dame Lillard and where he'll end up. We'll also talk about the Mavs and their trade for Grant Williams yesterday and give you some more points about the Mavs offseason that you might have missed because you can tell there's a plan in Dallas right now. And I think a lot of people being really, really complimentary of the Mavs offseason so far. So we'll get into that too a little bit. But I think we got to start, gentlemen, with the big story in the NBA right now that involves Victor Wembanyama, the number one overall pick in this past year's NBA draft, and Britney Spears, a once beloved, once iconic pop star in American pop culture. So according to TMZ, this is crazy. According to TMZ, there was apparently an incident where the security detail for Victor Wembanyama in Las Vegas were trying to usher him, all right, through a crowd of people, and reportedly Britney Spears, who is a fan. Now, is she a fan of the Spurs, Patrick, or is she a fan of Victor Wembanyama?
I think she is a fan of big celebrities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it says here, fan. I was like, fan? She's a fan of what, Spurs or Victor?
No,
She's
I mean,
a fan of Victor because she knew who he was.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's
You
know
Celeste.
what I'm saying?
he's the biggest name in Vegas this week.
No
you know,
doubt.
been all over
yeah.
everywhere. So I'm sure she was like, "Oh, I want to meet this guy. Like, I'm a star in Vegas too."
All right, so Britney has never come up as a Spurs fan.
I've never noticed her at any games. Never ran into each other at the AT&T Center.
Well, the Wemby effect is real there because Britney,
Wemby effect is real.
She's paying attention now. So Britney and her, I'm sure she had an entourage as well. They walked over to try to meet Victor Wembanyama, and as they were, I think the restaurant they were entering was called Catch. So as they were entering this restaurant called Catch, reportedly, allegedly, Britney spotted Victor, said she was a big fan. At least TMZ says she was a big fan, and she tapped him on the back. Or at least attempted to tap on the back. Her entourage or members of it claimed that she was trying to get a photo. Makes sense, right? Trying to put it on the gram.
Yep.
And the
Trying to put it on the gram.
the director of team security for the San Antonio Spurs, it says here, instantly, it says backhanded her, causing her to fall to the ground, knocking her glasses off. Says reportedly Britney composed herself and went to her table. We're told the security guy came over to the table and apologized. He said, "You understand how it is when you're being swarmed by fans." He apologized and Britney accepted it. By the way, we're told he also said he slapped her and he didn't know who she was.
That
So
could be
he's-
very true.
I thought you were just some fan trying to. If I knew it was Britney trying to do it, I wouldn't have slapped you.
Right.
I'd have been like, whoa.
We're like, hold
Thought
on.
you was just some jabroni out there. They get a backhanded
Exactly.
slap.
Exactly.
Britney's security team spent time with Victor's security guy, and afterward, her team filed a police report. It says here. So there's a police report at least saying what happened.
There was, but I think it's going to be wiped off because he went over and apologized. She accepted the apology, and I think it was more of, hey, you got to be careful running up on people because a lot of people don't know Britney Spears anymore.
Oh, that's hurtful.
But it's true. But it's true.
It's not even that.
I'm not trying to be mean.
But we don't know you no more.
Right.
The bigger question is, how many times has she had security
Knock
take somebody out
Yeah.
for her?
Yep.
Because
It's fair.
people are going to be trying to, and some idiot will come up and just be like, "Hey, I'm trying to just touch her," and you're like, "Yeah, you're not allowed to touch people like that."
Yeah, in this
Yeah.
day and age, unfortunately, we cannot allow that because there are psychos out there
Yeah.
who they will use
So I get
that
it.
to try to put her in danger.
I would believe. Now, look, there's cameras everywhere in Vegas because of it being the town it is. So it seems unlikely that there's no video evidence of this happening, and most likely it's because there's a police report. The police will hold it for a while, and then eventually it'll come out. But yeah, I would like to believe that it's something of where he was literally just waving his arms, and she was where he waved his arms, and she got slapped in the face because of it. But I've hit people working for bands that you don't mean to hit them, but you're just trying to push away people because they're, hey, let's all climb on stage, and you're like, no,
Not happening.
and so you have to push people back. There's stuff that happens in it. It's unfortunate, but yeah, it's crazy that this is a story. I don't know if Tim Duncan, this is a story.
No, it's not a story.
Because Tim Duncan
He's
wouldn't
not-
be out there.
He's not in Vegas. He's not going to catch. He's not going to the restaurant. He's like,
He's
I'm
not
ordering
doing it.
room service.
Yes.
Bring my food to my room.
Exactly.
And I will eat
That's
food
what
in
I'm
my
saying.
room.
No, but I'm saying, I don't know
Going
what
out.
spur. It's just it's crazy that he's been in the U.S. for 2 weeks and he's already on TMZ.
It's got a couple of stories already, man. I love it. I love it. Oh, here's some updates on the story from TMZ, gentlemen. It did says law enforcement sources tell TMZ the man listed on the police report as the one who accidentally, allegedly, reportedly smacked Brittany, backhanded her, is Damian Smith, the director of team security for the Spurs. Says here, our sources say it is not being handled as a criminal matter because the cops determined Smith was not trying to hurt Brittany. But the Kim Kardashian, Nicki Minaj sauce. But there is an update on TMZ that says we're told Vegas police brass will be meeting face-to-face with Brittany this morning. It said, obviously in the morning, to discuss the incident. And it also says that another update, it said, we just received contrary information about the police investigation from a source high up in the Metro PD. Our source says this is indeed a criminal investigation, and they are taking the incident seriously.
Come on, man.
The source adds the case will likely be referred to the DA, although that does not mean criminal charges will be filed. And yeah, that's the last update from TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have this Victor Wembanyama audio? He's already been asked about it.
Of course. They're
It's
going
it's a
all
big
in
story.
on him, man.
It's a big story. One of the first questions they asked him about was not, you got to play. You about to play your first game? How you feel?
How excited are you about your
are
first game?
Teammates?
Vegas?
Nope. Asked him about somebody backhanding Britney Spears in his security detail. Here's Victor Wembanyama.
So what happened last night is I saw the news obviously this morning. I woke up to a couple of phone calls, and so yeah, there was something did happen a little bit when I was walking with some security of the team to some restaurant. We were in a hall. There was a lot of people, so people calling me obviously, and there was one person who was calling me, but we talked before with the security, don't stop because it's gonna make a crowd. So I couldn't stop. So that person was calling me, sir, and that person grabbed me from behind. So I didn't see what happened because I was walking straight and we told don't stop. But that person grabbed me from behind, not on my shoulder. She grabbed me from behind, and so I just know that the security pushed her away. I don't know with how much force though, but security pushed her away, and I didn't stop to look, so I kept walking and enjoyed a nice dinner. That was a fun night with you guys.
Victor, just one follow-up. That one person who grabbed you from behind, you think was Britney Spears?
So actually, I didn't know for a couple hours, but when I came back to the hotel, I had forgotten about this event. But I didn't forget about it, but I thought it was no big deal. And the security of this Spurs told me it was Britney Spears. So I was like, no, you're joking. But yeah, it turns out it was Britney Spears. I know.
All right, there you go. That's Victor Wembanyama. He was asked about it, and he says, yeah, basically security detail were trying to usher him to the restaurant. They said you can't stop because too many people want to.
Yep.
They want a conversation, they want a picture, all this, and we can't address that. So that's kind of how it went down. Now, there's a witness. TMZ found a witness.
You know they're going to find a witness.
Man, like I said, that's why I always believe that Tim Tebow was indeed a virgin. because they would have found a witness that he wasn't if he wasn't before he got married. But here's TMZ. They said they have this witness, and this is the audio you're about to hear, to the whole thing. And it's a little lengthy, but he goes into some detail about this eyewitness account. Here it is.
Wemby was walking into the area heading to catch when there was a fan who afterwards we found out was Britney Spears, was approaching him with a British accent, saying, excuse me, sir, and just kept trying to go towards him. When eventually he was heading, when Wemby and his entourage were heading into the restaurant where to catch, that's when Britney sort of infiltrated her way into this circle, and one of his bodyguards gave her like a backhand slap across the face.
So explain specifically what was Britney doing? Did she make contact with him? Did she touch him? Describe like literally the blow by blow of how that all happened.
So she was approaching him and using, like I said, a British accent, saying, excuse me, sir, I guess trying to get his attention for possibly a picture. But when they walked right into the Catch restaurant, that's when she leaned in, sort of got her way into the circle and started to put her hand on his back shoulder or his back, because he's pretty tall, so towards his back. And then that's when the bodyguard just turned around, slapped her across the face, and knocked off her sunglasses.
Did you see his hand make contact with her face?
Yeah, you saw the hand, but you also heard the slap.
You know, it's interesting. Is it possible, and I'm not suggesting this, did you see him hit her hand and her hand hit his face? Or was it his hand that squarely hit her face?
No, it would be the hand that hit the face.
And you saw her sunglasses fly off?
They flew off, yes.
Did she fall to the ground?
I don't think she fell. At that point, there was a lot of commotion with people in the way, but I don't recall seeing her fall to the ground. Just sort of go to the side and like hunch over.
When did you realize that it was Britney Spears?
Not until this morning when we started seeing more reports on the news.
After the slap, what happened? Did Victor walk in the restaurant? What did Britney do? Can you describe that?
Yeah, Victor walked right in, kept going. A couple of people stayed behind, sort of to, I would say, check on her, or maybe they didn't. I'm telling you, they didn't know. I'm guessing they didn't know it was Britney. So just to restrain this person from getting any closer. And then that's when afterwards they sort of try to walk her out of the restaurant. She screamed and using a British accent. That's what she was using the whole time. This is f***ing America.
And she was saying that in an angry, like angry that she had been...
Yes, it was an angry tone.
So did you eventually see her walk into the restaurant as well?
No, so we didn't see her at that point walk in, but when we finished our meal and came back out, she was still hanging around, and there was I guess she had a group of people around her, and then she walked through Aria covering her face with a hat.
Oh man, okay, there's a lot
There's
to unpack
so much
here, guys.
to unpack.
Okay, can we start with the British accent for Britney? Why and when did the British accent start? Maybe they wouldn't have mistaken her for some random jabroni.
Agreed.
If Britney wasn't speaking in a British accent. Come on, Britney.
And she probably wasn't looking like Britney Spears either.
Come on, Britney.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, considering the fact no one else was like, oh, Britney Spears is here. It seems like they would be like, there's two celebrities in this hallway.
exactly.
And they were all focused on one.
So her British accent, her fake one, worked because nobody thought that was Britney Spears.
That
So
might have been it.
Maybe it's real.
Maybe that she stayed in character.
Maybe she's listening to Patrick's advice about road rage.
Yes.
What's your road rage advice with people?
The road rage advice is when you get mad in road rage is to have an accent and do a silly voice when you yell at somebody in road rage so that you won't stay mad, and a British accent always works.
Honestly, it does.
Okay. Yeah.
So maybe
I like
she's
that.
taking Patrick's advice. I don't know that. Okay, so that was the strangest part.
And now she yelled, "This is America," in a British accent.
This is effing America, right?
This is effing America.
This is effing America
in a British accent.
Wow.
Where there was nothing that was done un-American in there. Apparently, in her America, you can just grab people.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
And then think about this too. That somebody just tweeted this to me and said, this man was trying to get his first ever breakfast taco 2 weeks ago. Now he's in Vegas in a Britney Spears scandal.
Yeah, exactly.
This dude is like, I want to go back to France. I don't even want to be here now.
I think he's loving it, actually. I mean, because he didn't seem like he was, shaking or anything about it, or even worried about it or stressed about it.
Yeah.
He just think it was a very unfortunate situation that it's not directly his fault or anything. Like
No,
he
he
just
wasn't- he didn't
no,
do
he was just-
anything.
he was just a part of it. His security
and for
detail.
the record, everyone else is saying that she tapped him on the back, and then when Wembanyama said it, she goes, "I felt I got grabbed by the back." Which you're like, well, that's
Yeah.
different.
That is
'Cause
totally
a tap and a
different.
grab is pretty different.
And he's a 7'3" man.
Again, for someone slapping, I find it hard to believe any trained security guard is like, yeah, I'm just backhanding people away. You may make contact, but this is a trying to knock a hand away from your hand is on my guy's back. I have to get your hand off my guy's back immediately because I don't know what you have in another hand. I don't know what you're gonna do. And then also, I know this sucks now for everybody who just wants an autograph or just wants to say hi or get a picture.
Yeah.
There's people out there who will go to every single event with 25 things they're going to try and sell on eBay, and especially for a rookie, and they're going to walk in with 50 things and make you feel guilty that you don't sign them unless you sign the 50 things. It happens to everybody. I've seen it happen to Coach Sark. I've seen it happen to Coach Herman.
Yep.
I've seen it happen to Coach Strong. Coaches shows that they will come there with 15 things, and you basically have to escort the coach away because they're going to be the nice guy. But these are literally and they'll show up every week with 15 more things to sell.
Yeah.
And so there's a point of it where you just have to be like, look, we don't want to treat people like this, but we have to because there's people that we're going to try and take advantage of the system, and they're going to stand directly in front of him as we're trying to go eat with 100 rookie cards.
Yeah.
And say, can you sign all these rookie cards? This one's for my uncle, and this one's for my kid, and this one's for my nephew, and we're doing this. We're doing it for a charity giveaway, and we're doing and.
Yep.
So that's part of why security has to be like this now.
Well, and that's if you look at it, that is the part of the problem for security they deal with on an everyday basis. You also have what we hope they never have to deal with, which is the actual threat of someone who's trying to do harm to these people, and that's what they really are there for.
Yeah.
And that's why they cannot allow someone to get that close to Wemby without knowing who it is and what their intentions are.
But
so
I think we'll see is it'll come out that there will be other sides to it of there will be one side that says he lined up, took 2 steps back and ran at her and slapped her in the face.
Right.
And there'll be other they'll be like, no, they were moving and she moved in and they just hit. It just hit. It's unfortunate. It sucks.
Dude, you know what's
That's
coming.
why he went over and apologized afterwards because he was like, look, I definitely did not mean to hit you in the face.
And somebody asked if Victor Wembanyama go over and apologize. I don't know if he did.
He didn't know.
He said he
didn't know.
kept going.
He said
He
he
didn't know
didn't
what
know.
happened.
And for the
Yeah,
record,
he
he
said
said he didn't know until hours later at the hotel room
Right.
that it was Britney Spears.
Yes, he didn't
So
know.
he didn't know
until
at the time. He's not going over to apologize to a crazy stalker who wants to grab him and hug him or like.
You don't know
those-
if the security guy went over, and once
Yeah,
the security
yeah.
guy went over and found that it was Britney Spears, I think Texter is asking like,
Yeah,
why
I don't
didn't
think
Victor
they
go over
told-
then?
I don't think they
Why didn't they go
told-
like, hey Victor, it was Britney Spears. She wants to take a picture, and the picture probably would have smoothed everything over. I can tell you where this is going right now, just from a public relations standpoint. Britney Spears will be at a Spurs game. That's done. Like she will be at a Spurs
She
home
must
game
be on the
this
front
upcoming
row.
season. Yeah, she will be
Hey.
courtside, up front row, and then there will be a selfie that goes viral
Hey.
of Victor and Britney Spears
You know
hanging
what?
out.
You know what, Mark Cuban? If you want to win this offseason, you need to go get Britney Spears on the Mavs side. Try and start this rivalry up again. You can get her in a Mavs
like that.
jersey and just be like, those people are evil.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, there.
That would be the greatest idea. That's one of the greatest ideas in the history of American sports. If you and NBA is a petty league, and I hope they listen to you, Patrick.
Oh,
That'd
it's
be
so petty,
fantastic.
too.
That would be awesome.
You know who will do that? Adam Silver. Adam Silver
Mark
needs some.
Cuban's that
No,
guy.
Mark Cuban
Yeah.
is that guy.
Mark Cuban's that guy.
He's that guy. He gets creative about stuff like that, so he'll think
You
it's
know, The
funny.
Rock is going to call him like, phone number not known.
I don't know if we got the clout to get Britney Spears in
No,
this time. I don't know if we can do
the
it.
Rockets can pull it off.
Yeah, I don't know.
She
Yeah,
can be like, I like Luca. He's a good American kid in a British accent. But no, also no, Brittany.
that is fantastic. All right, that's the Wemby effect. Okay, let me give you this real quickly. The tickets apparently they're sold out for the July 7th Summer League debut of Victor Wembanyama. The Thomas and Mack Center where they're going to play is a 19,000 seat capacity. They're going to play against the Charlotte Hornets. So Brandon Miller, also number 2 overall pick, will be on display for the first time as well, debuting. But TMZ is reporting, Jim, the ticket prices for most of those games right now for that game is around $186 per seat in the
Which-
top.
Yeah.
If you would have bought them early, it wouldn't have been, but they are now sold out.
So yeah,
now it's all secondary
ticket market.
and
Yes.
secondary ticket market is very
The
expensive.
top price they said was $617, the most expensive ticket.
Vegas.
That is crazy.
Vegas.
Yeah, and
Wow.
I think a lot of the seating there is general admission too.
Most of the time it is.
Yeah, like a lot of summer league
Yeah.
seating is general admission, but yeah, Friday is must see action there at summer league.
That is fantastic. They said, the basically Spurs' first game at the Las Vegas Summer League has increased 26% in terms of the ticket prices compared to the 2022 Summer League season. The average listed price for day one of the 2023 Summer League, this is overall now, of the Summer League has increased 35% since the announcement last Tuesday of Victor Wembanyama participating in the Summer League. June 27th, that Wembanyama would make his debut there, and that's when the ticket market just went crazy.
Love it.
He's, I mean, we'll see.
He's
if
already got it going on.
I think he's worth the price for me. I want to see him.
Yeah, we all do.
The average purchase price for a Spurs home game last season, $69. You know what it is right now? $148 is the average price ticket to attend day one of the NBA Summer League. So you're talking about, I mean, I can't imagine what the average Spurs ticket price is going to be this year.
Oh, I can't wait.
It'll be up.
Oh, you going? How many games you going to? Have you already decided?
I don't know.
I mean, scrape your.
It's going to definitely be weekends.
I've been pretty lucky last few years that people just been giving me free tickets, and
Oh,
I
it
get
ain't happening no more.
I know it ain't gonna happen no more.
You done with that, bro?
Yeah, you ain't getting those free like you used to, bro.
That's not happening.
No.
How about this? Another little stat for you. On the trading card market, Wembanyama card sales on eBay have reached well over $1.1 million in the last month.
Mm-hmm.
$1 million of trading card sales, according to KNES. Also, it says here that card sales for Wembanyama only began spiking within the last 30 days. After a moderately slow trek of about 1,000 cards being sold on eBay, Wemby's card sales have climbed over 3,000 units sold by draft night, and the increased sale quota also saw growth in cost for Wembanyama's cards at an average of $89 per card, with the price ranges online now going from 99 cents to $11,000.
That's what it's all about.
And it said, according to a report, Wemby's Metropolitan 92 rookie cards on eBay, one listing has Wembanyama Redemption gold-based rookie card for Metropolitan 92s valued at $23,000.
Well, I'm going to
Should
tell
get
you
that
this
one, Patrick. That's one you
That's
need.
the one you need to be looking for.
That's the one you need.
Yeah, that's the one
I'm
I need.
surprised Jeff Howe hadn't found that yet. Been part of his opening on them rookie cards and trying to get that signed.
Wow.
We will have Wemby's former teammate Tayshaun Thomas on the show next week.
Hey,
Nice.
you know
He's
why?
coming on
Hey, you know
with-
why, Ron?
What is that?
Where's he from, Ron?
Oh, no.
The 254, man. K-Town, baby.
Man.
Yeah. And he
happy.
told me flat out, he said it was an experience for sure.
I can believe that.
Yeah. So
Nice kid.
we're going to definitely have him on next week.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, we'll get to some more NBA discussion in this top of the 6 o'clock about NBA free agency. We'll talk Mavs then as well. But it'll Victor Wembanyama, Wemby Mania sweeping the NBA world. What you got coming up for the people on Hard Knock Life?
Well, last week when we were off, it was Bobby Bonilla Day. And Bobby Bonilla gets paid X amount of dollars, over $1 million, 1.9 to be exact, every year for the next 13 years. I want to break that down for you and let you know that there's a couple other players that have found those loopholes as well.
All right, we'll get into that. Hard Knock Life on the other side. Bobby Bonilla Day.
Bobby Bonilla Day.
That's important. Right here on Ball Don't Lie. Right here on 104.9 The Horn.
Welcome back to a new theme Thursday edition of Ball Don't Lie. And the theme is about kissing. It's kissing, not International Kissing Day. And Britney Spears was trying to get a kiss from Wembanyama in a British accent, and it did not go well for her.
Five hands to the face. Five fingers to the face.
Slam. But it's your boy Hardball Hard. You can follow me on Twitter at Hardball Hard. You can follow my man Rob Babers at Rob Babers. And, of course, you can follow the man behind the glass that's in charge of all of our themes at It's Patrick Davis. We also love it when you're a part of the show. So hit us up on the Specs text line, 512-337-3776. Okay, so July 1st, normally as everybody's getting excited for 4th of July, you start thinking, okay, for us in radio, everybody always talks about, it's the dog days of summer. We got to try to find stories. One person that doesn't need to find a story at any time during this summer is Bobby Bonilla, and he can continue to do this every July 1st. He has something to look forward to every July 1st, and this is going to go on until 2035. Every July 1st from 2011 to 2035, the New York Mets have to pay Bobby Bonilla, who retired, by the way, 20 years ago.
Ooh.
Bobby Bonilla hadn't hit a baseball in 20 years at the major league level.
Long time.
They pay him $1.93 million every year as part of his contract. And he still has 12 years on that contract, by the way, folks. So he's going to get $13.1 million within till 2035. And I remember when this happened, this contract runs longer than Bryce Harper's contract that he just signed. So he's running longer than that.
Wow.
But the beautiful part about this entire situation is how the money got deferred. And I do want to say this, too. Bobby Bonilla is not the only one who the Mets are still paying. The Mets are still paying Robinson Cano. When was the last time y'all saw him? He is getting $20.25 million. Former catcher James McCann, he's getting $11 million. Eduardo Escobar, he's getting $9.1 million. These are people that you may not even heard of. Chris Flexen is getting $4 million. Darren Ruff, $3.3 million. Bobby Bonilla, I just told you that. Tommy Hunter, former pitcher, $686,000. And Brett Saberhagen. Yes, Brett Saberhagen, who you haven't heard of in a very long time.
Come on, man.
So they are still getting paid. But here's the beautiful part about Bobby Bonilla's contract that I thought was amazing. In 2000, the New York Mets decided to buy out his contract with a lump sum of $5.9 million. That was all that was left on his contract. Instead of paying it immediately, the Mets owner at that time, Fred Wilpon, and Bobby Bonilla's agent, Dennis Gilbert. By the way, we talk about David Mugheletta. We need to be talking about Dennis Gilbert because he hooked up this contract.
That's legendary, man.
He negotiated the deal to be paid nearly $1.2 million at 8% interest over 25 years. Then the Mets could use the money to create securities and get annual dividends and also make sure that they can have some flexibility when they're trying to build their roster and how they're going to move some of the money around, i.e., and some of the taxes that are being levied too. He can manipulate that as well. It was a loophole in the Major League Baseball's bylaws. So they used it. And not only did he use it, he had deferred the money to spread out over 2 decades of payments with the annual interest rate of it was locked. It was a locked rate at 8% compounded, ends up to come out to be $30 million by the time he turns 72.
Nice.
So he got that worked out. I don't even know how that happened. I don't even know where they thought that through because Bobby Bonilla, who played in the big leagues for a very long time, was very, very talented. In case for those that don't know exactly Bobby Bonilla's resume, he was a 6-time All-Star, 3-time Silver Slugger Award winner. He combined to be with Barry Bonds to be one of the best 1-2 punches in the history of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And he was a key member of the Miami Marlins when they won their first World Series in 1997. My boy Cliff Floyd was on that team as well.
Man.
But you would think more people would pay attention to it and say, let me try to turn this on and make this happen. Well, this is who else has decided to do that. Ken Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey Jr. did this as well. He got his money deferred from 2009 that it ended in 24. It's going to end in 24.
Okay.
So he deferred half of his $116 million over 9 years. So the Reds had the same flexibility, be able to build their roster, be able to do some different things, and now the Reds must pay our man $3.9 million.
Nice.
By the way, he got 4% interest on his money because, the market was changing, so he couldn't always get it like that. And another player that has done this is Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts signed a 12-year, $365 million deal, and he got 115 of it deferred.
Nice.
And he doesn't have the advantage of the compound interest of the deal. That's where he went wrong. He didn't get the compound interest because, there'd been money on top of money on top of money, and it's all a bunch of residual income right there. So the moral of this story is if you're an athlete and you're getting paid a lot of money, i.e. Patrick Mahomes, who has background in baseball, his daddy knows about that.
True that.
So maybe they can figure out a way to negotiate that deferred payment to where you are having this money come in and out of your life for a very, very long time. There's a lot of players that are doing it. There's a lot of players that are looking at it, but I felt I needed to bring up the fact that my man Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid big dollars during this time.
That's crazy.
It is.
I mean, that contract is legendary.
It's one of the best ever.
And the Mets have to be embarrassed about it all the time.
Well, and that's
gotta
I
be.
think it was part of that Ponzi scheme. You remember back in the day, the Mets were part of that Ponzi scheme, and I think that's how the money started to get deferred. And Bobby was like, go ahead and defer my money while you're at it. Because y'all are on the hook for it, so see what y'all can do with it. And now you're going to compound the interest, and I'm going to make sure that I get paid out. My man was supposed to get paid $5.9 million, and he finagled them into $30 million.
That is crazy.
That is unbelievable.
He's a great agent, man. Always helps have a good agent.
And now he just sits around and waits for that bing. You have direct deposit.
Hey.
Remember when AOLs told you have mail?
Mailbox money, man.
That's all you want to do. And it's
Mailbox
straight
money.
up direct deposited. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff. Okay, let me ask you something just real quick because we were talking about this earlier. So we were talking about this earlier this week, but Shohei Ohtani and him potentially being obviously a free agent at one point, and if the Angels are going to let that happen. That story is gaining a lot of momentum. I heard a conversation about the Rangers actually in Dallas. In detail, I heard them talking about it, having a conversation about it on their sports radio station. Is that realistic?
That's definitely realistic. We've seen what they've been spending.
Man,
They went out and got guys. They are, for some reason, they believe that they are printing their own money right now.
so they got assets to
They have
move.
They have a lot of talent in their minor league system.
Move, yeah.
A lot.
And the Astros
of
don't
it.
have as much talent right now in the minors because
Nope.
they moved a lot of it up.
Yep.
You said the Rangers are still loaded. there.
Rangers are still loaded in that minor league
I just wanted to get
system.
your thoughts. Was it a realistic conversation to have? Because I heard some sports radio stations talking about
When
it in
you talk
Dallas.
about deferred payment, anything is possible.
Well, just because
Because
nobody
don't
knows.
forget A-Rod. When
Yes.
he came, he got paid big dollars when he came
Great point.
to the to the Rangers.
Great point.
So there's a lot to be desired, and Texas wants to be a winner. They are tired
Oh, no doubt.
of looking at the Houston Astros and all of their success and everything that's been going on with them. The Rangers are trying to make moves. They went out and got a Jacob deGrom. Unfortunately, he got hurt. Nathan Uvalde's done a great job on the mound. They went and got Seager and they got Simeon, who, by the way, almost their entire infield is an all-star. I mean,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Four out
So,
of the 4 players?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you sitting there and you're looking at it and you're like, okay. Then you got Garcia in the outfield, who now is in the home run derby as well. So, yeah, Texas is trying to do some big things, and they're trying to do it fast.
I heard that conversation, and not much freaks me out as an Astros fan, but that freaked me out.
Oh, for
I
sure.
don't know what the price tag's going to be. I mean, basically, it would be an unprecedented price tag, whoever's going to pay that guy the big bucks. But this year, we're just talking about trading him to a competitor who's going to put them over the top as a championship contender to win the World Series. And I hadn't been allowed to talk about the Rangers, but they certainly fit that description of a team that needs that one last piece to push them over the top. And we're talking about World Series for the Rangers.
And we know he's 2 pieces.
Yes, exactly. Boy,
yes. So
he's
it's
elite
well worth
almost.
your money.
Whatever
it's
that
well
is.
worth your money because you're getting 2 players for the price of 2 players. Because you're going to end up paying.
You're paying
the
1.5. You're paying 1.5.
Exactly.
Wow.
And Josh Young, too, the young third baseman. I mean, he's an asset. He's the one that just made the All-Star game as well. There's so many guys that are in this, and you look at it and you say, all right, who's going to be players? What you need to look at is who they have at the minor leagues and at the major leagues, but who they have in their minor league system that can help a team later on, like the Anaheim Angels, who have struggled, and they're going to be sellers. They have to.
They have to now.
Because they both got all their guys hurt again.
I think they're 7 games back now of the Rangers. Like that, it was very brief.
Yes.
It's a brief shining moment where they had a chance to compete and make it be a postseason team, but they're not.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
They're not there.
Yeah,
and
well,
now
just
you got
Mike
the
Trout
news, Mike
injury.
Trout with 8 weeks out.
It's done.
Yeah.
That's interesting that the Rangers, Rangers and Ohtani. And I love your thought yesterday. You brought up about the Braves.
Yeah.
And the Braves should be one of those teams.
They are definitely
thinking
looking
about
at it.
going all in on Shohei Ohtani. And what's the price? Who's the highest paid player in Major League Baseball right now per annual?
I think it may be
Is it
Scherzer or somebody like that on the mound.
And
But
what
player-wise, I
what
think
number
it's
are we
Mookie.
talking about?
I think it's Mookie.
What's
or
the
it's gonna-
range? What's
that's
range
like
are we talking about?
30
30 million?
Yeah.
I mean, what's this guy's going to
40,
get?
40. Somebody's making 41 this year.
He's going to be I mean, if somebody makes 41 now, what is Shohei going to get per year?
Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm saying.
It's got to be in the 50. You're talking about 50 million.
You have to. And if you're not, something's wrong with you. Because you have to talk about that.
He's got to be a $50 million. He's going to be the highest paid athlete in American sports per year.
Yeah, Max
Because
Scherzer
annually,
this year
it's
is
no
making
way.
$43 million.
Okay.
Scherzer and Justin Verlander are making $43 million.
And Mahomes is what, close to
Yeah,
the
Mahomes.
NFL. The NFL now, they've passed Mahomes, so now they're in the $45 million range too, right?
Yeah.
For quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be the. And what is Messi making? We got to find out what Lionel Messi's making when he comes
he's gonna
to,
be, you know, he's
to
gonna
enter
get
Miami
his.
because he's gonna be in that conversation too. But I think Shohei deserves to be the highest paid American athlete.
Aaron Judge is making $40 million. Mike Trout is making $37 million. Anthony Rendon, who has been hurt ever since he went to Anaheim, he is making $38.5.
He's gonna make $50 million.
He's got to.
Wow,
he's got to.
That's mind blowing, and he deserves it.
Yeah.
And you could make the argument when he gets his $50 million payday per year, he's gonna be underpaid.
No doubt.
You guys can make that argument. It's like the max salary for LeBron in the NBA. It's like he's still underpaid.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where Shohei is right now.
Oh, that's great. All right, good stuff there. We come back. We got Off the Record on the other side, right here on Ball Don't Lie, 104.9 The Horn. Hey, what's up, folks? Lifetime Longhorn, Rod Babers here. Let me tell you about my favorite beer. It's probably your favorite beer, too. I'm talking about Bud Light, the world's #1 light beer. Doesn't matter what the occasion, it is fitting for any and every occasion. Maybe you're hanging out with friends and family, having a nice little dinner tonight. Maybe you're headed to happy hour. Maybe it's Thursday and you're starting the weekend a little bit early and you're ready to hit the Austin night scene and enjoy the Austin nightlife. Hey, Bud Light fits that event as well. Matter of fact, Bud Light fits any and every event and occasion because it turns good times into great times and the rest of the times into the best of times. That's why Bud Light is my favorite beer and always has been. As a matter of fact, I've been drinking Bud Light since my days on Dirty 6th Street when I was balling on the 40 acres through my time in the NFL. And now, hey, I'm an old man, so I want to decompress after a long, hard day, or I want to reward myself after some yard work. I do it with a nice ice-cold Bud Light. Also, the best way to beat the Texas heat is with my favorite beer, Bud Light. Still my go-to beer on Longhorn tailgates on Saturdays and my NFL Sundays, so whether you want to toast and cheers to a brighter tomorrow or drown your sorrows, it's never a bad time or a bad idea to break out the Bud Light. It isn't just for anybody, it's for everybody. So remember, Bud Light, brewed deep in the heart of Texas by Texans, for Texans, and damn proud of it. All right, welcome back to Ball Don't Lie, 104.9 The Horn. Okay, I got to ask you guys, did you guys hear the Light the Tower program today? And Cameron was on it, Cameron Parker.
Yeah.
Colonel Parker. Did y'all hear him accept the competitive eating challenge?
Yeah, that was not a
saw he
smart
was going to
decision
do
by
it.
him.
Yes, I believe the challenge was, I think it was 10 Shipley's Donuts in 5 minutes. Was the challenge?
I thought it was 10 donuts, and it just happened to be Shipley's today.
It wasn't. I don't know. Him and Jeff decided on Shipley's.
Yeah.
I like Shipley's. I'm from Houston, and so I love me some Shipley's. But Shipley's definitely not the best donut for competitive eating. It's very doughy.
Yeah.
It's a big donut.
A lot of yeast.
Yeah, a lot of yeast. And by the way, talk about a rookie eating a competitive eating mistake. He did not dunk the donut before consuming. He just consumed it dry. The first one he consumed dry. He just started dunking into like the third donut, or like the second one. Like, well, you got to dunk initially. That's why they dunk the hot dogs in the water. It's gross and disgusting because wet bread is like one of the most disgusting things out. It's like wet toilet paper. It's gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wouldn't dunk it. And he had coffee and donuts, and he didn't dip in the donut in the coffee until like the second or third donut. Rookie mistake. So he basically quit.
Has he not watched Joey Chestnut?
Obviously not. He quit like the third donut. He was done. It was a sad state of affairs. He said he's gonna come back better, and he's gonna try Krispy Kreme or Round Rock donuts instead of the Shipley's. I live right by Shipley's, so I don't mind Shipley's, but definitely not a competitive eating donut.
Yeah. Why do you want to ruin? So I did years ago. There was a radio thing of
The wings.
No, it was burgers.
Oh,
I think Specs had a new like 2-pound burger or something.
nice.
And they did it, and I couldn't eat a burger for like 6 months because it was trying to shove that
How big
food
was this
down.
burger?
Oh, it was like 2 pounds with all his fixings and all that stuff.
Yes.
But it was a thing where it was literally for like 6 months. I was like, I'm good. I don't need that. And I could just taste it. I could taste it for 2 weeks. Like brush your teeth, mouthwash, everything every day, and you're like, no, I can still taste it. It was just trying to shove that much food in your face, and it was like you're trying to do it in speed. So it was just, and I was like, all right, I'm good. So that's why I don't want to ruin any more
agree.
foods by doing that.
That's a good
With
point.
donuts, you're like, I like donuts. I don't want to see somebody like, hey, do you want to get donuts? You're like, I want to go to the bathroom now. Thanks.
No, I'm with you. I did wings once. We did wings
You did
over
a
at the old
challenge?
station. We did a competitive eating challenge. I think it was like, I don't know, maybe it was like 6 of us or something. And I
Yeah.
did it. I was terrible. I mean, I think I might have
I mean,
finished.
you had to clean them?
Yeah, we were timed. I forget the time limit. I was terrible. I think I finished maybe next to last or third to last, something like that. I was not good because I got grossed out by my own self.
Yeah.
Midway through, I looked around, and you can't look around. That's the key. You cannot look around if you're competitive eating
That
and
sounds
you're
right.
like me, because I looked around and saw everybody eating grossly, like stuff hanging out their
Oh my
mouths
God.
and not.
Rod-
and
Rod-
I got so
Rod
grossed out.
cleaning during a eating competition.
That's basically what happened. I basically just lost all
That is true.
motivation.
And like I've known you longer. You don't eat in public.
I don't eat wings in public.
I don't. You know.
I don't eat basically food I have to eat with my hands. I don't eat in public, like barbecue and wings.
Yeah.
I don't really like
So
that.
that's already you're at a massive disadvantage because
Yes.
you're like, I don't even want to be doing this. I
Yes.
don't want to be doing
People
this for the
judging me.
reasonable amount of food.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So I did have my head down like the first 3 minutes, and then I looked up at people looking at me.
Took a breath
Yeah.
in.
And then looked around and went, oh, this is disgusting. And I almost I got nauseous at that point. So I just couldn't do it. That's why I don't. That's the last time I probably ate wings in public. No joke.
Yeah.
That was it. I don't eat wings. I like food a lot. So when it's a real intimate thing for me when I start sucking and licking my fingers and everything. I don't do that in front of people. That's gross. I do that in front of my wife, and that's it. Okay. Have you guys heard about? We've been talking about Vegas a little bit. Have you guys heard about this ball in Vegas?
Yes.
You
Oh,
heard
yeah.
about this?
Oh, man, it's amazing.
It's crazy. I got to go see this thing. So apparently, there's a $2.3 billion sphere in Las Vegas. It's almost ready. It's a
Yeah.
sphere, 366 feet high, 516 feet wide, 18,000 seats. It's a venue. 164,000 speakers, 580,000 square foot LED panels. It's the world's largest sphere, and it's officially going to open up. How about this, Patrick? With a U2 concert, actually.
See there?
It's going to open up with a
There you
U2
go.
concert.
They back.
And apparently, guys, the sphere is so mesmerizing, it's causing wrecks in Vegas. Because people are looking at it while they're driving, and they're just looking at it, and it's causing wrecks in Vegas. That's how captivated people are with this sphere. First of its kind. It's a concert venue.
I like.
It is amazing.
I do like your sales pitch to the wife. look, baby, I got to go to Vegas to see this sphere. That's all I'm doing. I just got to see a sphere that there's clearly pictures and video of on the internet. I got to go see it in person. And I may gamble and drink and do other. Everybody knows the sphere.
Yeah, there are reports it's causing like massive traffic and then a couple of wrecks, so people are staring at the sphere instead of keeping their eyes on the road.
I wonder if you can see it. You have to be able to see it as you're flying into Vegas too.
Oh yeah, they say NASA got involved. Actually, they say Sphere, a huge first of its kind concert event venue in Vegas, set to open later this year, is so high tech NASA got involved. The space agency is using ultra high resolution cameras on the International Space Station to capture images of the solar system that will feature an immersive exhibit at the Sphere this fall. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory tasked an ISS astronaut with taking footage using Sphere cams. It's gonna be like they say it's gonna be like a free spacewalk. Dude, this thing is wild.
It is amazing.
You got to go check it out.
It is definitely amazing.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a whole new version of surround sound, I guess, something like that. So there you go. The Sphere in Vegas. I'm sure Wemby's probably seen it already.
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
They gave him the tour, I'm sure. And
They probably put Wemby's face on the damn thing.
You
They
think
can
Britney
change
Spears
all
has
the
seen it?
images.
That's probably why she was thinking, I know him. I know him.
Y'all gotta let me in too.
Didn't Britney have residence in Vegas?
Yes.
Is that why she's still there? Is she still?
I assume.
Yep.
Oh man, I used to love Britney Spears back in the day. Not her music, but her as a. Yes.
I remember I had a friend, and he kept telling me, and he'd play Britney Spears, and I was like, we're listening. This is an audio medium for something you keep telling me is a visual thing. I'm just saying, I think you like the music, and that's okay. But don't put this up that you're listening to this because she's hot. That is not how things work.
No, I agree. Watching Britney Spears kind of like saying you used to read Playboys just for the articles, and it's like, no, I'm watching Britney Spears because of what Britney Spears used to look like, not her music at all.
Right.
Because nobody jams Britney Spears music anymore. It doesn't stand the test of time.
Britney Spears don't even jam Britney Spears music no more.
There's still girls that jam it. I don't know if the guys jam it. Yeah, I still know girls that jam it.
They jam Britney Spears like hardcore, like they're grown women now jamming Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's fascinating. There's no depth to it. She's not Taylor Swift.
No,
Taylor Swift has depth to her music.
But she had stuff that was later in her career that is at least more like pop hits that if you're nostalgic for it, you're gonna like it.
I know, but to me, it's not. It's not like great. Like I don't know. It wasn't great music. It was just like it was poppy.
No, but I also don't think a lot of stuff is great music.
I think Taylor Swift has some what people consider to be great music.
I get that. I don't, but I get it. People do.
I don't think anybody would throw talent-wise her in the same category.
No, not songwriting-wise. But that's the thing is she was a performer and had other people write her songs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, same people that wrote Taylor Swift songs write.
She writes more of her songs than Britney Spears did.
She writes parts of them, yeah.
Yeah.
She writes
some of her songs.
breakups.
I don't know why Patrick dislikes Taylor Swift. She's got to come out as a Spurs fan here to give her some props, I guess. All right, we come
Female
back.
listener number 1 says, "Shut your mouth. I still jam Queen
Yeah,
Brit."
I'm telling you, people listen.
Okay, all right. Sorry for the Britney slander randomly. Didn't know y'all were so offended by that. All right, we'll get to some nuggets and from behind the Burners curtain. We got to talk Texas football. Big 12 media poll is out. Steve Sarkisian audio from Always College Football podcast, and the Quinn Ewers meet and greet. We'll tell you how you can meet the starting quarterback. All that and more right here on Ball Online. 104.9 The Horn. Hey, what's up, folks? Lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers here. Let me tell you about our friends over at Ironworkers Local Union 482. We know that Austin is a beautiful city, and what you may not know is our good friends over at Ironworkers Local 482, they have a big part to play in the unique aesthetic appeal of Austin, Texas. Thanks to their skilled craftsmanship, and they've been helping shape Greater Austin since 1935. You see the labors of their love all over this great city and iconic landmarks like DKR Stadium and the Pennybacker Bridge. And as our city continues to grow and thrive, so does Ironworkers Local Union 482. 482. They don't go to the office, they build it. So if you're looking for an exciting new career path and you want something new, something fresh, something that will challenge you, you can become a valued member of Ironworkers Local Union 482 and accept the challenge of becoming the best version of yourself while helping shape our city's economic development. Right now, they're hiring over 3,000 people for a huge project right here in Central Texas, and you can become a valued member of this prestigious organization, Ironworkers Local 482, and take pride in the type of teamwork and craftsmanship that helps shape the future of our great city. So maximize your potential and be your best self today. Simply apply at ironworkers482.org. That's ironworkers482.org. Welcome back to Ball Don't Lie right here on 104.9 The Horn. It is a new theme Thursday, and that means my man Patrick, the Idealionaire, he takes songs, selections that are supposed to provide clues and hints to Harge and I as to what the new theme of the day is. And I think we got it with a little help from female listener number one, who wants me to watch my blasphemous mouth about talking down about Britney Spears. And apparently, my man CB's a Britney Spears fan too, and he says, "What did Britney Spears do to Rod? Damn, he's going hard on her."
And he said, and he tweeted out too, "Leave Britney alone."
I swear, I'm actually a Britney Spears fan
You
from
pro-
back in the
you
day.
pro Britney?
I admired her back in the day more than I do today, but that was more about my physical attraction to young Britney as opposed to aging, mature Britney that she is now. But I'm not hating on Britney. I just never listened to her music. I was always attracted to the sexual icon that was Britney Spears. Now, like, what do I like? She's not a sex symbol anymore, so that's why I don't really keep up with Britney anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
She's
I
fucking
just,
nuts.
I just know I have friends that still like her stuff, and that. So
Oh, yeah.
I know it exists, like
Oh,
how
no.
I know other things exist.
I know now too. I didn't know people were so upset about. I like Ike. Oops, Rod did it again. Thank you there. Appreciate it.
There
I
you
like
go.
Ike. Apparently, a lot more Britney Spears fans out there than I thought. I wasn't mean to hate on Britney. The new theme of the day is National Kissing Day.
International kissing. Day.
International Kissing Day. That's different than National Kissing Day because it's about the world kissing.
Yeah, no, it's because you can get a kiss from a foreign broad.
Well, that's,
That's why she was talking in a British accent.
That's actually.
She was trying.
look, all you Britney Spears sympathizers, can you explain the British accent to me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
when
didn't
did
say
this
she was
happen?
sane.
Listen, when did this happen? When did she develop the British accent? Because last time I
Yeah.
thought I heard her speak, she didn't have a British accent. This one she was battling like her father. Remember?
Yeah,
that was like a legal
yeah.
dispute
The
about
conservatory or whatever it
yes,
was.
him
and-
having like the conservatorship and all that kind of stuff. So that's the last time I heard her speak, I think, and I don't believe it was in a British accent. But the recent Wembenyama controversy that she was involved in with her and the security detail for Wemby, there is a witness claiming that Britney Spears multiple times could be heard yelling in a British accent. One time saying, "This is effing America,"
Yeah.
in a British accent.
Yeah, I still don't get that. But she did release a statement.
Okay.
There has been a statement now after Wemby has made his statement. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll just read the last part. She said, this story is super embarrassing to share with the world, but it's already out there. However, I think it's important to share this story and urge people in the public eye to set an example and treat all people with respect.
Amen, Brittany.
Physical violence is happening way too much in this world, often behind closed doors. I stand with all the victims, and my heart goes out to all of you. I have yet to get a public apology from the player.
Oh!
That's what it is. There it is. There it is.
There it is. I forgot. I have yet,
I told you, it's
Yep.
coming.
It's coming. I have yet to get a public apology from the player, his
yeah.
security, or their organization.
Whoa, the security guard went over to the table.
I thought so too.
No, it needs to publicly.
Yeah, it's got to be publicly.
Oh, public.
I hope they will. ... I cherish the tremendous amount of love and support I am receiving at this moment. Thank you to the Las Vegas PD and the detectives for all their support.
I know. Apparently, like I ended up being a Britney hater and didn't even know it.
Didn't
That
realize
came out
it.
lashed out against me.
Yeah.
For being someone good. So she will. Okay. So I definitely was right. My theory. She will be at a Spurs game this upcoming
For sure.
season
For
on
sure.
the floor somewhere, and there
Come
will
on,
be a
Mark
picture
Cuban.
taken with Wemby.
Mark
Right.
Cuban, this is your chance, Mark. This is your chance, Mark Cuban.
You want this to turn into some petty,
I do too.
salacious
I do too.
NBA
now that it's
controversy.
to this now, and she's waiting for that.
She wants an apology.
She wants an
publicly.
apology from the person. I'm gonna go grab Britney Spears to wait for my apology.
Yeah.
When you
Come
get slapped
on
in the
now.
face.
Yeah.
When I grab her from behind and go, Britney.
That's why I said
I'll
this
use
is-
an accent too. We'll
This
make it
is-
work.
This
Come
is
on.
no. This is the whoever.
Not
you know,
gonna grab her, by the way.
No, you shouldn't.
I'm not doing that.
There's a
First off, she says she tapped him on the shoulder. She's 5'3". Did she jump up there?
No, she definitely couldn't reach the show. She probably tipped her on his like back.
She said, I tapped him. I know the player said that I grabbed him. I tapped him on the shoulder.
Wemby says he was grabbed.
Yeah.
She says
Yeah.
she tapped. That's very different.
Yeah.
And to me, ultimately, the security people or whoever's around, I'm sure there's a publicist or somebody, a public
Yeah.
relations person there. They should have tried to squash this on the spot and should have got Wemby to go over and take a little picture.
Yeah.
And I think honestly it have squashed it. He was like,
would've
hey,
too.
Wemby, go over there and just say you're sorry.
I think we found out we need Britney Spears to go over and get the picture taken because someone is getting recognized and somebody's not.
That is also
Well,
true.
she did. Wait. She said,
Uh-oh.
I get sworn by people all the time. In fact, that night, I was sworn by a group of at least 20 fans. My security team didn't hit any of them.
Yeah. I mean, 20 fans ain't a lot, really. That's what I'm saying. It's like a celebrity. It's not a touch to be sworn by like 20 fans.
Oh, my God.
It's like Vegas, man.
Yeah.
Anybody can be sworn by 20 people. Mistakenly think I'm Michael B. Jordan. Like,
Yep.
5 to 10 people looking at me crazy.
They're going to keep staring at you for a minute.
Yeah,
They're
they
going to be like, who is that?
They definitely should have had Wemby just go over there and say, hey, sorry, I didn't even know this happened. I'm a fan. Let's take a picture. And I think it would have been squashed. Now, do the Spurs respond? That's the question I have for you, Patrick. Do the Spurs respond with
I think
anything?
they will. I think they will because
With
I
an
think
apology?
they'll just be like, "Hey, we're so sorry." I don't think they'll say it outright, and then she's gonna get mad again because they'll say, "We're sorry the incident happened or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We apologize for whatever happened that we don't agree happened that way."
Yeah.
And but I think the Spurs are probably also like, "Hey, can we get a copy of that video? Like, we know there's got to be video. Let's get a copy of it because if she grabs him and then walks into a hand."
And if there's a police report now,
You know,
also,
so if
yeah.
it's one way, it's like, did he grab? They also want to know is like if this dude's actually just going out and slapping people.
Yeah, that's
they'll be
gotta
like,
be-
yeah, you're fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're done.
You can't
dude.
be slapping people. I don't
No.
care if it's Britney Spears anyway. If you
Yeah.
if that's how you respond, then you're gone
You
anyway.
escalate the situation.
So they have to do their
yeah.
internal investigation anyway, just because it's what you
Yeah,
have
you
to
have
do.
to. Adam Silver's probably gonna put a call in here. Like, hey guys, so I need y'all to, I need y'all to investigate quickly so we can wrap this thing up. So,
Yeah.
and I will say this too. I bet for the Spurs, I bet their lawyers, because like I said, it's now could be a legal situation.
Yeah, it
So
definitely will
I
be.
guarantee the lawyers are telling them, hey, you got to craft your statement very carefully. Can't be admitting to anything here because we
Yeah.
didn't do anything, that kind of stuff too. So yeah, it's crazy, but I love it.
It's unbelievable.
How do we
Wemby-mania,
know? I still am not going to public apology.
Hey, Wemby, will Wemby come out and publicly apologize? I know the Spurs will.
The Spurs will tell him. The Spurs legal will go. He's smart enough. He knows
Yeah.
that they'll go. Hey, just so you know, like this is how you can answer it, but don't just put it into. Don't say you're sorry for her getting hit.
Yeah.
Because you didn't see her get hit.
Yeah.
So you're putting him in. You're basically giving them a civil case against us for something you didn't see.
Right.
Yeah, you make yourself a witness when you didn't even see
Yes.
anything for the other side. Yeah. Oh man, this is great. I'm so happy for Spurs fans. Good for y'all. Wemby's been in just a little while. You guys already involved in a
All my
Britney
man
Spears
wanted was
controversy.
breakfast tacos. All he
Yeah,
wanted
no.
was some breakfast
We're
tacos.
only in the 5 o'clock hour.
I love it. Man, Pop is,
Yeah.
Pop is somewhere just shaking his head. He's like, you gotta be effing kidding me.
It's like, dude,
It's
I'm
already-
just trying to get you to the game. I'm just trying to get you to the game.
We're never going to Vegas again.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, okay, in that summer league game, he's gonna debut tomorrow versus Charlotte. That's on NBA TV. How do
I think it's on ESPN.
I think it'll be on ESPN.
It's
Okay,
on
I was gonna say,
ESPN.
how did the master get see it? Because
Yeah, it
believe
is.
it.
Actually,
I
it's
believe
going to be
it's-
on ESPN tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Okay, I was gonna say NBA is
7 o'clock,
stupid.
I believe.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's 8 o'clock Eastern.
Okay, they'd be stupid for not getting that on TV, man. Because right now, people now who have my wife is gonna ask me about Wemby when I get home. I guarantee,
for
be like,
sure.
Hey, what's up with this Wemby guy? Why did he slap Britney Spears? Like, he did not slap Britney Spears. It was the security detail, and then we'll probably end up watching Wemby tomorrow night.
No, it is 8 p.m. You're right. It is 8
Yeah.
p.m.
The ratings are gonna be through the roof.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Joke number 2, the pimp slap heard round the rail. No, you're right. That the slap heard round the rail was the Chris Rock getting slapped by Will Smith.
Yes.
This, you're right. The backhanded. We got to see the video.
That's what I'm
do.
waiting for.
I know. I want to see the video too. I also, how much Britney Spears do you think is on your wife's phone?
She's definitely got some Britney on that phone.
She's gonna be mad.
Probably
She's gonna be mad.
five, probably
She's gonna
5 to
come
10
home
songs.
and be like, oh, she doesn't have no talent. She got no songs.
Yeah.
I didn't say okay. You know what? I'm digging myself deeper. Apparently, I did not realize that
Yeah,
the
you in
Britney,
trouble, dog.
yeah, the Britney fandom was so strong, and I apologize, y'all. My bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some Texas football conversation. We have some sound audio from Sark. We don't get to all of it here. We'll finish it up in Rod's rant of the day coming up next segment. All right, gentlemen, the Big 12 preseason media poll has been released. And the Longhorns have been picked by the Big 12 media to finish first in the Big 12. 41 first-place votes. Kansas State finishes second among this voting with 14 first-place votes. Then Oklahoma third with 4 first-place votes. Texas Tech is fourth. They also have 4 first-place votes. TCU with 3 first-place votes. They're fifth. Baylor 6th. Oklahoma State, they actually have one first-place vote. They're 7th. UCF 8. Kansas at 9. Iowa State 10. BYU 11. U of H 12. Cincinnati at 13. And West Virginia picked to finish last, 14 in the new-look Big 12, at least for the 1 year before Texas and Oklahoma exit to go to the SEC. This is one of the first years, probably in the last 13 since 2010, since that 2009 season, since 2010, where Texas actually this offseason, the expectations of Texas fans are as high, if not higher, than the standard of Texas football. And what I mean by that is, I always say, don't let your expectations affect the standard of Texas football. And I asked this question earlier in the show. In the last 13 years, when has the University of Texas football team met the expectation of Texas football fans and then lived up to the standard of the Texas football brand? Once.
2018.
In the last, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Once in the last 13 years. That's it. You got 4 different coaches, and only one of them has been able to have Texas meet expectations of the fans and live up to the standard of the brand, which is usually double-digit wins and competing for a title of some sort.
Yeah.
And to me, that's why this is a really significant moment in year for the program and for Sark, not only because you're going to the SEC next season. So if you want your fans to have faith and to have trust and belief that this program can go win the toughest conference in football in the history of college football in the SEC, you got to be able to compete for a championship in the Big 12, especially in your last year. Because the truth is, and we all know it, that Texas has grossly underachieved during their tenure here in the Big 12. The fact that Oklahoma has won twice as many football championships as Texas has competed for in the Big 12 says a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why, it's a huge year, but that's why we haven't really been here recently. I think 2009 was the last year where Texas, the expectations of the fans was also as high, if not higher, than the standard of the Texas football brand. And we're here again.
Yep.
And hopefully Sark can live up to those expectations.
Yeah, we were talking about this morning with a friend group of mine, because a lot of them went to different schools that are now in our conference, now in the Big 12 conference, and they said best bets or bestodds.com. One of the best college football bets to make over the last 13 years is the under on Texas's win total. Since 2010, going back to what you were talking about earlier today, Rob, Texas has gone under its preseason win total in 12 of its 13 seasons. 2018 was the only year that they achieved or met the standard, as you were talking about. They met the standard. So you sit here and you look at this team and you go, what's the number, 9.5? Is that what we had it at? I think that's what the original.
I think Vegas had it at that. Now I think it's rising, actually. I haven't seen it yet.
And we all said we're going over that. We're going over the 9.5.
You should.
But again, we have had PTSD, as some of the people kept saying. They're like, not again. Not again. This is where the disappointment begins. The standard is pre-scholarship limits in 1970. But you sit there and you look at it and you say, all right, what's next for the University of Texas? This year is the year that I've been the most bullish over the last few years. And I told you guys before, I've been to Vegas to place those bets. I've been out there drinking that Kool-Aid and sipping on it. And as my man Rod always tell me, you've been drinking Flavor Aid. I don't want to drink Flavor Aid no more. I want the man to run through the wall and say, hey, Kool-Aid. I want that one running through the wall. So I'm looking at this Texas team. I'm believing in it. I know that everybody voted in the Big 12, and they say that Texas is the answer. Texas needs to go out and perform now. And you also said it, and I couldn't agree more. All that's going to happen has never been against talent. It's always been what's on the sideline and what those coaches are doing on the sideline.
Everybody's excited about the talent, but I will warn Longhorn fans, talent has never been the issue for Texas.
Right.
You've always
Correct.
had arguably the most talented team in the Big 12 or top 3 most talented team in the Big 12. When Baylor wins the Big 12 or K-State wins the Big 12 or Oklahoma State wins the Big 12, they don't have the most talented team in the Big 12.
Right.
Never did. That didn't even cross their mind that we're the most talented team in the Big 12 and that's why we're going to win it. No, that's not why they're going to win the Big 12. When they win the Big 12, it's because they got better culture, They got better coaching and better talent development than Texas. And the hope is this year that Texas will be able to match the talent development and will be able to match the culture. Talent has never been the issue. Everybody's excited about talent level at Texas, that it's higher than it's been a long time. It's always pretty damn high. Like it's like I know everybody's excited. I don't know when the talent level dropped off a cliff here at Texas, but guys, it didn't. It just wasn't being developed. It wasn't being coached, and it wasn't being, in my opinion, it wasn't being maximized in a constructive, positive culture, football culture. Sark has checked the box on the culture. I really like the culture Texas has right now because guys don't want to leave Texas via the transfer portal. They want to be at Texas, and they're excited about the program. As a matter of fact, we'll hear some sound from Sark, who's talking about how excited the guys are, and it's a player-led team this year. Also, the talent level, he's recruiting really well, but Texas always recruits really well. But also the development. Guys got better last season. Only one position group that I think regressed last season in terms of development, and honestly, it was probably wide receiver. And how much of that was due to Xavier Worthy being injured and a young quarterback like Quinn Ewers not having a lot of experience and the passing game being out of sync, all those types of things. So I think Texas checks the box this year. Of course with talent, of course with culture, and of course with development. I'm giving Sark a lot of credit because I think the development will stay on track. But if they're going to lose games this year, it will be because of coaching. And I think it's going to go right back to Sark. I think Sark has to learn how to win the chess match within the game, which he has not. Now, some people say, well, last year they were tipping plays. And whose problem is that? That's, I mean, that's a coach's problem. That was Sark's issue. Sark, you got to correct that. That's part of self-scouting. So either you figured that out too late, or or you allowed that to become one of the reasons that you lost 5 games, and they were all one-possession games. So yeah, maybe if you would have corrected that sooner or rectified that earlier, you'd have won 1 or 2 more games. But listen, the Oklahoma State game, the TCU game, Washington game, I mean, those are all games, even the Texas Tech game. Those are all games that I think Texas could have gotten a schematic coaching advantage, and they did not get one. And that's not the reason they lost, but it definitely could have helped them win if they'd have gotten a schematic coaching advantage. And they just didn't in those games. They didn't. You got Joey McGuire. Hey, man, he was a riverboat gambler in that Tech game, and he outcoached you. It's okay. He did. Everybody knows that. Got outcoached in that game. It was a good game plan by Tech. Nobody saw it coming.
They go for it like every single time on 4th.
I think they set like a record for going for it in the game. Give it up. But my point is, Sark recognized that too late. Sometimes you can't play the hand. You got to play the man. All right, it's they say in poker, and I think at that time Sark should have been playing the man and realized this guy's gonna go for it on 4th down all the time. I got to match his intensity. I got to match, his energy, and I don't think he did that. Oklahoma State game, we all saw that, right? A one-handed receiver and a one-handed quarterback with 14 overthrows, the most in the last 10 years in any college football game. Found out later, both of them had injuries, and Oklahoma State was on their way down. And that was their last breath of fight before they decided to hang it up, and they went on a spiral for the rest of the season. They shouldn't have beat Texas.
No.
But Texas beat themselves in that
game.
Yes. That was a Sark game, right? He was obsessed with the deep ball, obsessed with, giving Quinn Ewers and X-Man, making sure that they were the featured duo in the passing game, and I think came back to bite them. TCU, need I say more? Bijan had 12 touches. Need I say more? You had a game plan? You had a game plan where the best player potentially on the field on either side in the biggest game of the year for you, and your best player on either side of the ball touched it 12 times, 0 targets.
Right. And mistakes.
And you think it was you tipping plays that lost the game. That's not why you lost that game. Washington game. No creativity in the run game, right? That was the most boring, lackluster run game. You basically was in missionary position for the whole run game. You didn't switch it up at all. All right? Gotta get a little spice in there. Nothing. No 2 tailback sets. No 6-0 line package. You needed more empty package. That was a lack of creativity. That was an arrogant game plan. You lost that game because you were arrogant. You thought, no Bijan and Rojo, we're fine.
Yeah.
No,
we
you're
got
not.
this.
You don't got this.
Yeah.
So this is my point. Sark right now, he's learned to win the chess match within the game. He's great at preparation. He's great at game planning. He's amazing at those things. But that can only last you like a quarter and a half. And after that, you got 2.5 more quarters to play. And that's where Sark is being outcoached. So he's got to learn to play better chess. And right now, he's an amateur chess player. He's like minor, intermediate. He needs to become a grand master. and the chess match within the game, and he's not that right now. If he does become a grandmaster, Texas will win the Big 12.
And that is why I believe that he is in the best position that he's ever been in as a head coach, as far as the players, the staff, the people that are going to be relaying the information during this time. I think he's in the best place he can possibly be, and I think that we are going to be in shock about what we've seen from this team this year and the play calling, because we've all talked about it. The scheming and everything has been great in the first half. It's all about the second half.
Yep, totally agree. All right, we'll hear more from Sark in Rod's Round today. He went on the Always College Football podcast with Greg McElroy. We'll hear the audio from Steve Sarkisian on the other side, right here on Ball Don't Lie, 104.9 The Horn. Hey, what's up, folks? Lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers here. Let me tell you about our friends. They want to be your friends, too. And you need friends like our friends at Apple Leasing, because they're in the business of saving you time and money. Matter of fact, they can save you both time and money, whether it comes to you price shopping and trying to find the perfect car for you and your family. Maybe it's getting out of your old lease and getting into a better lease. You can do that with Apple Leasing. Maybe it's just about finding the right payment plan and the right price that's compatible with you and your budget. Whatever it takes to make sure you're in the right car for you and your family, Apple Leasing will make sure that happens. All the headaches, all the hassles, all the frustration, the stress, the time that it takes to find the perfect car for you and your family. My friends at Apple Leasing, they want to take on that burden for you. They know you got a lot going on. All you got to do is let them know exactly what kind of car you want, exactly what kind of price you're willing to pay, and then they will go find it for you. All it takes is one phone call, 512-346-9977, or reach out to them online at appleleasing.com. Follow the example of my man Mike Harge.
That's right. It's all important to reach out and get the car that you want. You're driving around Austin, Texas. You don't want to be stuck in traffic with a car that you don't feel comfortable in. Why not go get the car that you want? And leasing gives you that type of option. Go to Apple Leasing. It is so easy. Appleleasing.com, and you can find a way to make sure that you get no down payment and zero payment for 90 days with their easy list. It is so simple. That is what I've done. I've had 3 cars that I've leased by them, and I'm going to get another one because my son is getting older. He eventually is going to be driving. So we're already trying to plan some things out. It's so easy. Even if you're already in a lease and you feel like, I don't know if I can get out of it, Apple Leasing will walk you through that process. It is that simple. Go to appleleasing.com or give them a call, 512-346-9977, and let them make it easy for you. If you're busy and you don't have time to go and view all these different cars and all these different options, tell them what you want. Tell them the make, the model, the year that you want, and they will go and find it for you. Whether it's something real small or something extravagant, they will do it for you. Go to appleleasing.com today. As I said, give them a call, 512-346-9977. That is appleleasing.com.
All right, welcome back to Ball Don't Lie right here on 104.9 The Horn. Been trying to get to this Sark audio for a while, so we'll get to that here. He was on Always College Football, the podcast with Greg McElroy, and he was asked about a number of different things. The first topic was about the losses from last season, all of them by one score, and he was asked about the growth from those losses. Here's Steve Sarkisian.
I think so. I looked at, 2 years ago, we couldn't find a way to win any of those games. And we were all our losses the year before were tough, heartbreaking losses. Last year, definitely some tough losses when you think about Oklahoma State or the Texas Tech game. Games we really felt like walking out of there, we just gave one away. But I also looked to last year. I looked to, going into Kansas State and winning that game in a tight ball game in the fourth quarter. I looked to the Baylor game at the end of the year when we were behind in the fourth quarter, and then kind of take over that game and go win it in the fourth quarter. So I see the progress. Obviously, we're not a finished product yet, but I definitely see the progress, and I'm kind of proud of the mental makeup of our guys because they showed a lot of resolve throughout the season. And to me, that all came to fruition in that Baylor game in the end because, in our minds, we were playing to get into the Big 12 championship game. We didn't know what was going to happen the next day. We had to win that game to give ourselves a chance, and to go into a game down in the fourth quarter and then to come back and find a way to win it, that was really encouraging for me.
And he was also asked, since you're coming off of a season where you had 5 losses, what did you need to improve on? What boxes did you need to check this offseason? Here is Steve Sarkisian.
I think inevitably for us, I think a couple things. Offensively, we've got to be a more balanced attack than we were a year ago. We were a very good running football team. Clearly, when you have a Bijan Robinson and a Roschon Johnson, we had a lot of youth on the offensive line, and quite frankly, we had youth at the quarterback position. And I didn't love the depth at wide receiver, so we did a lot to try to address, the depth chart that way. And then you have to put in the time. Our offense is better when we can run the ball. We can throw the RPOs the way that we do. We can play action pass and take those shots and connect on those things down the field, and then try to create space for our players on that side of the ball. And I think that we felt really good about that coming out of spring. We continuing to work on it here this summer because for us to be the team that we want to be late in the season, we're going to need that balanced attack, and we're going to need to make sure that we're dangerous through the passing game. Defensively, we just keep harping on. We want to be able to play tighter coverage so that we can not just affect the quarterback, but now, create more sacks and create more negative plays. I think we were one of the country's leaders last year in pressures on the quarterback. If not, we might have led the country, but our sack numbers weren't where they needed to be. So hopefully with tighter coverage, we can get the quarterback on the ground a little bit more and maybe create some more turnovers and create more short fields.
He's been talking about that for a long time, too, playing tighter coverage. Remember, last year they were top 10 in pressures in college football, but out of the top 10 teams with the most pressures, they had the second fewest sacks behind North Carolina State. So they want to convert more of those pressures into sacks. The quarterback play, of course, is going to have it's going to play a big factor in determining Texas' success this year. Here's Sark talking about that quarterback room that's one of the best in the country.
Yeah, I'm really fired up about that room. I think, that collectively we are a very talented group, a group that works really hard and works really well together. Greg, you've been in enough quarterback rooms. When that room's good, when guys are engaging with one another, having fun with one another, they've got good rapport. They're competing, but yet they're doing it in a way where they're trying to get better individually, but also supporting the other guy and knowing the things that he's working on. So we have that. Quinn has had a great kind of just off season, and in my opinion, it really started in December and prepping for the bowl game. I thought he prepared really well. He played really well in the bowl game. We didn't play great around him. And then that continued into winter conditioning and spring ball, and he's been fantastic in the summer. He looks great. He's in the best shape of his life. Then there's Malik Murphy, a guy who just hasn't been able to stay healthy for us, but very talented, great leadership ability, has a unique arm talent to throw it all over the field. And he's going into year 2 in the system. And then you put Arch in there who, I felt like I needed to remind everybody, like on our spring game, the guy should have been at like the senior like car wash, right? Raising money for prom or something. Like he should have still been in high school at that game. And so it was invaluable experience for him to be with us and to kind of get a lot of that newness out. Hey, he's a normal guy with us, and he's a normal guy for himself and in and around the building. But for everybody else, when you carry the name, it comes with those expectations. So I think for him to try to realize how to balance those types of things, in the end, he's on a great trajectory for us. He's going to be a really good player for the University of Texas, a great leader. So I really love where that room is at right now.
I love it too. I'm sure by now, Hard, you've seen the shirtless photo of the quarterback room.
Oh yeah.
And basically Maalik Murphy making everybody in the quarterback room look like a teenager compared to him.
Exactly. Look like somebody daddy.
He looks like a defensive end.
Yeah.
He looks like he doesn't play quarterback. It looks like he plays some other position out there. It is just freaky how physically imposing.
Yes.
My man Maalik Murphy is. But speaking of quarterbacks, Quinn's growth also was a topic of conversation between Greg McElroy and Steve Sarkisian. I like this cut. Talks about something I know Harge has been critical, I should say, of Quinn on his footwork and the subtle nuances of playing the quarterback position. Here's Sark talking about Quinn's growth.
Well, I think two things. One, Quinn is really coachable, and he's always been very coachable from the day he got here. And so that's helpful when you don't get that resistance. I think two, Quinn's ultra competitive, like every great quarterback, and he wants to be the best player he can be. Sometimes early on, in my mind, he was a freshman last year, basically. Yeah. Like I graduated high school early, but did it too late, and it was an awkward situation at Ohio State. Inevitably, there was a big learning curve for him, just about the game, the speed of the game, the nuances of our offense. And sometimes when you don't know all the nuances and you don't have all the answers, that can make you feel a little less urgent because your brain is trying to work. And so your body's trying to slow down to keep up with the brain. I think that his understanding of what we're trying to do and why we're doing what we're doing has allowed him to play more urgent. And I do agree with you. I do think that the details, right, and the minutiae of the position is something that he sees value in now, and he's really putting in the time to make it all come together.
Details like footwork. Hopefully that's one of the details he's talking about too. But everybody's excited. And everybody believes Quinn's going to have a big year, mostly because of the weaponry around him. With X-Man, JT Sanders, A.D. Mitchell, Jay Witt. You just gave me an article, Harge. Pro Football Focus said Texas has the second best wide receiving core in the nation.
Behind Ohio State.
Exactly, which is wide receiver U. Yep. Here is Sark talking about those pass catchers for Quinn Ewers.
Like I said, we looked at where we were at the end of last season. I wanted to look at our passing game from kind of a 360-degree view, right? Whether it was schematics, whether it was the way we were teaching the passing game, what we were calling in game compared to what we were practicing, and then the personnel that was trying to operate those plays. And we felt like we needed to upgrade there. And I credit our recruiting staff and our coaching staff for the job they did to, again, go recruit those three kids out of high school. I think are great young players. I think the addition of A.D. Mitchell has been very helpful. But I also think when you challenge competitors, they rise to the occasion. And what I've seen out of Xavier Worthy has been phenomenal this offseason. He's the most engaged I've seen him be since he's been here, and he's been really good for the first 2 years. Jordan Whittington's leadership, he's kind of assumed almost that Roschon Johnson role on our team, which has been great. And getting Isaiah Nair back. This guy was a projected starter for us a year ago, coming from Wyoming, gets injured, misses the year, and he's kind of been forgotten. So that room is really solid. And then I think JT Sanders is just a budding star. He really was a fantastic player for us a year ago. And I think we're only going to see more from him in that type of play, which for a quarterback, that puts you at ease too, right? That you're, who's where, what. He knows he's got capable people to catch the ball and go make plays for him.
Yeah, actually, Greg McElroy was asking about JT Sanders, and he said, Sark, I know you, and I know how you weaponize players, and I'm not even going to ask about JT Sanders because I know you already giddy about him. I'm not joking. That's what he said in the interview. I'm paraphrasing. So everybody understands JT Sanders is about to be a game changer for Texas. But what about defense? Sark was asked about the defensive side of the ball, and he gave a lot of props to continuity. Here's Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah, I think a couple things. One, one thing that's been helpful for us on the defensive side of the ball is staff continuity.
Yeah.
Having our entire defensive staff back now together for a third consecutive year, I think their rapport is critical. Those guys all came here. I hired them all almost like hire guns from different spots. It never really worked together, and then we had to make it, okay, how do we get everybody on the same page? So I think that part's been helpful. And then the veteran players, obviously Jalen Ford is a great player at linebacker.
Yeah.
I love, the fact that we have Byron Murphy, we have Trevondre Sweat, we have Alfred Collins. We have some, we have that nucleus of guys back. We have Barron Sorrell back, who had a really good sophomore season for us. I think he had 5.5 sacks as a sophomore. And then the addition of Trill Carter, kind of a veteran presence from Minnesota, and the emergence of some young players, whether it's an Anthony Hill, a guy like that who we think can come in and have an impact. And then in the secondary, Jahdae Barron was kind of an unsung hero for us last year at the star position. He made a lot of impactful plays, a really instinctual player. Ryan Watts a year ago was a transfer from Ohio State, played all year for us at boundary corner, was really good. Jalen Catalon coming in, like you said, when he's healthy, he was an all SEC player, and he's in great shape. We're fired up to have him. The addition of Gavin Holmes from Wake Forest, who was a 2-year starter there. So, we don't live in the portal, but the guys that we have gone to get, I think, are going to be impactful players to go along with a lot of young players that we have high hopes for. Derek Williams, Malik Muhammad. There's some pretty good young players that I think are going to help us this fall.
All right, and the last cut is Sark telling the story about the SEC schedule release, and it's kind of another example of him having a player-led team this year. Here's Sark talking about staying focused on this season, not the future.
I really feel like our team's on a mission. Our mission, like we've been building for this to win a Big 12 championship. I felt like that they will all tell you that we missed an opportunity a year ago to not play for the Big 12 championship game because of our own undoing. We made some mistakes in a couple of games that cost us an opportunity to be in that game. And these guys have been on a mission all fall or all winter, all spring. And what was interesting, we were in a team meeting and I was referencing that, hey, just so you guys are aware, they're going to release the SEC schedule tonight. These guys wanted to put out our 2023 schedule to remind everybody who we were playing this year. And so it didn't take much. I mean, we've got great leadership on this team. We've got guys that, really the full allotment of our team now are players that I inherited that have now been with us for 3 years and have completely bought into who we are and what we're doing, or they're kids that we recruited that believed in what we were doing, and that's why they came here. So we really have a locker room full of guys that are believing in what we believe and have really good leadership and are putting forth the necessary effort and means to try to be a champion. And that's why they came here, and hopefully we're giving them the platform and the tools to go do that.
I love that story, Harge, that the guys wanted to put out the 2023 schedule, and not the 2024 schedule because they're focused on the here and now. I like that.
That's what it's supposed to be about, and that's the beautiful part about what he said. It puts it all in perspective. It's the perspective in which this team is focusing on. We've heard it from Jay Witt about how he hadn't won a Big 12 championship. He hadn't even played in the game. He's trying to get to that.
The last Christian Jones, I believe, played for a Big 12 title. He's on that 2018 team.
Because he's been here for 18 years.
He's been here for a long time.
Yeah.
No, I know. I think right now the thought experiment that Longhorn fans are having right now, and I totally understand it because when was the last time Texas was picked to win the Big 12 like this? Anybody remember?
No. I don't remember.
2009. I believe it's the last time they picked Texas to win it. Maybe it was 2010. Maybe it was like right around there. But it's been a long time. Texas has not been necessarily picked to win the conference in a long, long time. So, yeah.
Yep, it's that time.
It is that time.
It's time.
So, like I said, everybody's going to drink the Kool-Aid right now. But for Longhorn fans who are reluctant to trust, they're cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Maybe some of y'all are cautiously pessimistic. But what could deter the season? That's the thought experiment, right? What could derail the season? What could derail these guys from actually accomplishing their goals? And there's not a lot of ways it could derail, but there are a few.
Yeah, there's a couple.
And that's kind of, I think, what Longhorn fans are going to be running through their mind until the season starts. Like, how could it go wrong? Like, what could happen?
Where are we at? Okay, what is this option?
Yeah,
yeah.
That little thought.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So why wouldn't they win the Big 12 is really the question. Why wouldn't they? Everything points to Texas winning the Big 12, and that's why all the media are voting them to finish first. All right, that's some Sark sound from Always College Football. We'll come back. We'll get into a little baseball. The Astros closing the gap on the Rangers. We'll talk about that on the other side, right here on Ball Don't Lie, 104.9 The Horn. Welcome back to Ball Don't Lie right here on 104.9 The Horn. New theme Thursday. That's when the Idillionaire Patrick Davis takes songs that are supposed to provide Harge and I with clues and hints as to what the new theme of the day is. And today it's International Kissing Day. So my man Patrick playing songs that reference or talk about smooching and kissing, like the one you're listening to right now. So shout out to my man Patrick, always keeping us on our toes for a new theme Thursday and all the musically themed days of the week. We appreciate him and appreciate you. Specs text line 512-337-3776. Let's talk some baseball, gentlemen. Rangers lost to the Red Sox yesterday, 4-2. Astros got them a win. The Astros actually have won 7 of their last 8 games. So the Astros are closing the gap a little bit. Right now, only 2 games behind the Rangers. Rangers, and I love the stat about the Rangers, and it does show you why they've slowed down. They're not struggling or anything like that, but the Rangers have just slowed down. They were so hot to start the season. I think it was inevitable that they cool just a little bit, maybe regress to the mean, and they may just be tired right before the All-Star break too, considering the start. But the Rangers, at this point in the season, they're first in hits with 830, first in RBIs with 490, and they're second in OPS. And how about this? You go look at it last season in those same categories at this point in the season. They were 16th in hits. They were 12th in RBIs and 16th in OPS. Also, team ERA, they're 8th right now. They were 20th this time last year. So you're talking about a hell of a transformation for this Rangers team. Now that talent they were paying big bucks for, as you brought up, Harge, now they're starting to play some really good baseball. And one of the reasons they've slowed down just a little bit, their batting average with runners in scoring position. How about this? First 54 games, it was 335 as a team, hitting 335 with runners in scoring position. Now they're down to 246.
Yeah, it changes a lot. I mean, people are starting to understand who the Texas Rangers are, pitching them a little bit differently. Some of the guys are getting out of getting out of character at the plate and chasing pitches that they normally would. And there's been a lot of games that are being played. And other teams started off slow. Now they're starting to even out a little bit. The Rangers started out fast, continue to play fast. Look at what Tampa was doing. They came out the blocks, one of the hottest teams in baseball. They have a 5 game lead on the Baltimore Orioles. So they're going to have a chance to regroup, especially once the All-Star break gets here. It's right around the corner. They should be able to reset their approach at the plate. And then they have to go back to the basics again. They have to, like you said, they have to start driving back in runs when they have guys in scoring position. Not only that, they also have to get 2 out base hits. They haven't been doing that either. When before, they were doing that all the time.
Clutch hitting.
Yeah. So it was a big part of the success. The bigger story, though, that I'll continue to talk about is the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves are continuing to put pressure on people, and they've been playing really good baseball. They're up to plus 147 in the run differential, and they still are missing guys on the mound too, but their offense. If we were not talking about Shohei Ohtani as much as we are for what he's been able to do, both offensively and defensively, we would be talking about Ronald Acuna Jr. I don't understand why people aren't really giving him the satisfaction and the love that he deserves because he is putting up unbelievable numbers, and it happens every night. He's a show. He's a show every single time.
I don't know why it hasn't been a bit. I think you're right. It's a Shohei thing.
Yeah, it is.
Shohei's such a big story that we just haven't had a chance to really give him his props.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I don't know why that's the case.
A couple other notes. Astros said that Jose Altuve has a mild strain in his oblique. So it is but it's mild. They said best case scenario, they put him on the 10-day DL.
Yep.
But he's out once again, but it is not anything more major. So we'll get that. And then when we talk about the Rangers getting the rest, there's a problem with that. They all made the All-Star team, so no rest for the Rangers.
That is true.
They all made the All-Star team. So damn good that a lot of y'all made the All-Star team.
Yeah.
That's a great point there by Patrick. Yes, so the Rangers, I think they need the All-Star break a little bit too. They haven't been here in a while. Like this roster, they haven't been here leading the division. I think they're a little bit mentally drained too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, just get it right back on track. It is especially disheartening for them to have the Astros kind of creep back up on them right here at the end.
Has to be.
But I think that's going to help them reset their brain and go, hey, man, it's not like they're catching. Like, we slowed down.
They did.
They didn't speed up. We slowed down. We just got to go back to our regular pace and we'll be fine. So I think that's where the Rangers are going to be. And honestly, if you're a Rangers fan, it's a good thing because probably means they're more likely to spend more to get a big addition.
I agree with that. I
Because
think
if you
Astros
have a
and the Rangers
10-game
are gonna-
lead, you may let it slide and not go hard after a Max Scherzer or try and maybe put your name in the hat for an Otani or go after one of those guys. You may not go that if you got 10 games.
That's fair. You be too
That's very
complacent.
true.
You're
Yeah,
thinking,
you say, hey man, well you know what, we're good enough. We just need to make the playoffs next year. But now you go, man, we're not even going to win the division.
Right.
That's it. Yeah, you're right. It's a great point too.
Did you see Kyle Tucker take a shot at him?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Kyle Tucker came out and said, sometimes you just got to remind the little brother who's big brother in Texas.
That's
that shot after the
That
the
is
series.
a shot. I didn't hear that. He said,
Oh, yeah.
He
Basically,
said the term little brother.
Yeah, he did say little brother.
Oh, yeah, they don't like that. Rangers don't like that. Aggies don't like that. And Texans don't like that.
No, they don't.
Even though it might be
Hey,
true.
but make it a rivalry, guys. This
We
has
need
never
all the
really
smoke.
been a rivalry.
Yeah, we need
because
all
the
the
two teams
smoke.
haven't been good since we've been in the same division. So
That's true.
I'm all for making it a rivalry.
I'm with you. I like that too, man. So there you go. A little Rangers discussion and the Astros trying to close that gap before the All-Star break. All right, we come back. We'll take a break. We got NBA free agency discussion coming up next. Update on the Wemby, Britney Spears, Vegas controversy. We'll give you that, all that and more right here on Ball Don't Lie 104 down the horn. Welcome back to Ball Don't Lie right here on 104.9 The Horn. Yes, we can explain the music. It is a new theme Thursday. That's when Patrick the Idillionaire takes songs that are supposed to provide clues and hints to hearts and eyes to what the new theme of the day is. And it's International Kissing Day. So every song references kissing, smooching in some way, form, or fashion. So,
And side note, this movie also from the Batman Forever soundtrack.
That's
I
right.
do remember.
The same one as a U2 song. They're both on the Batman
This was
Forever
a
soundtrack.
weird song to put on the Batman Forever soundtrack.
Apparently, they like kissing in Batman Forever.
Yeah, well, yes, they did. But I'll admit, Batman's soundtracks, I don't think ever got as, I don't know if it's absurd or just as crazy and obtuse as it did when Prince was trying to basically bang Kim Basinger, right? Is that who it was?
Yeah,
Who was in the
yeah,
Batman
it
movie?
was Kim
So he
Basinger.
basically made a damn soundtrack for the Batman movie because he was like, hey, I want to spend time with this lady and I'd love to get it on with her. Might as well make some music for the movie while I'm here.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Smart move.
We'll do the Bat Dance.
Oh, right. I mean, it was so absurd.
There's
It's
a
like, what?
weird Joker one with Jack Nicholson cut into it. Yeah,
Yes, I remember
yeah,
that.
some weird ones in that.
Oh man, there you go. Yeah.
Some good stuff, but yeah, some weird stuff in there too.
Hey man, that's what it's all about. This is the weird Batman days anyway. Like I said, Batman went through a weird transition from being the very cartoonish kind of caricature of Batman that started with Adam West and the Bam, Zip, Wham.
Yep.
And then now it's all dark
I still
and
watch that one.
mysterious and brooding. Yeah. So, but now with Batman, Joker was a joke. He was literally a jokester. And he would
Mm-hmm.
laugh and crack jokes, and they would dance, and they would break out into song and stuff randomly. Now, Batman is way too serious for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's
So-
not messing around.
Someone's got you got to bring it back, guys. Let's make it fun again.
I don't
Make
know how
Batman
they-
fun again.
They can't do it. It'd
Yeah,
be
they
like
can.
It'd be like rap trying to go back to Will Smith. Like you can't go back to that fun-loving, good-natured hip hop.
I think you-
Paste in the box.
Yeah, after gangster rap, you can't go back. Like,
you can
there's-
go back. You can go back now.
Where's the hip hop that is that good
No,
natured?
I don't know if
fun-loving?
you can do it with hip hop.
With Batman?
But you can do it with Batman.
Ooh, even you ever watch the Batman cartoons now?
I know
Even they
everything-
are dark. Like
Yeah.
they're dark and nobody goes to the old school, good nature kind of fun loving Batman characters where they had these comedic like breaks within the construct of the plot.
Yeah.
Even when Michael Keaton was Batman, he would crack jokes. There were jokes in that.
Yeah.
Even Jack Nicholson, he was cracking jokes as the Joker. Now, no jokes, just murder.
Yeah, they don't even let the bad guys have weird one-liners.
Nah, not anymore. No, Bane had a couple, but it wasn't meant to be
No,
funny.
it was not. But it wasn't chill out.
Yeah.
Said by Mr. Freeze.
Chill out. That was something got on a Schwarzenegger played Mr. Freeze.
That's right.
That was
Mr.
great.
Freeze.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, there you go. Enough of that stuff. Thanks for my man Patrick for the musically themed days of the week. All right, gentlemen, let's talk NBA. Before we get into the Victor Wembanyama, Britney Spears, Vegas controversy, and their updates, so we'll get you caught up with all that stuff. Let's talk about some actual NBA free agency stuff here before we get back into the Wemby effect, because the Wemby effect is, right now, it's all anybody can talk about in the NBA, and he will be making his debut tomorrow night in the Summer League. But the latest in the Dame Lillard sweepstakes, I should say, now that he's requested a trade out of Portland, is that the Celtics seem to be coming up a lot more. The name of the Celtics coming up a lot more with Dame Lillard. Could the Celtics have enough assets? They got stuff they can trade.
The report that came out today was that Dame Lillard's agent has called every other team that's interested, or they've called him, he has said. And he has basically told them if you get him, he's not playing. He is only playing for Miami. Might as well not call it.
Wow.
We're going to go force him to give us 2 draft picks and Tyler Hero. We're going to screw over a fan base because Dame wants what Dame wants. And there is no fair play. Pat Riley has clearly tampered in this, has told them to do this so that he gets a player for nothing. Like this, it's just this whole screwy situation. If I'm Adam Silver, I'm pissed off right now.
Tampering does not exist. in the
Tampering
NBA.
does not exist.
It's on the books, but it doesn't exist.
Yeah, but they did. Because you know, and you go, hey, you want to come here. If you really want to come here, we can't match any deals. So you have to tell other teams you will not play anywhere but here. So you get your $70 million a year, and you get to play where you want to go to the defending Eastern Conference champions.
Wow.
And the people wonder why. And then people aren't mad at Dame for this for
And
some
he doesn't
reason.
have a. I know that's crazy. Yeah, you're right.
That's what I don't
He's
get.
turning into a villain a little bit. with
Yeah,
this thing.
because they're like, well, they didn't try. Like, they did try. There's a small market team. Like, LeBron played 11 years in Cleveland, brought stars to Cleveland because he recruited them. They never recruited anybody to Portland. They never. I get all this stuff that you said he did everything, but basically he would be like, hey guys, you need to go spend like $80 million on my friend and then go get me a big star. And then they spend $80 million on his friend. They're like, we don't have money for the big star because we brought your friend in. And he goes, oh, well, you guys aren't doing enough. You're like, this is not how life works.
Right.
Well, what's the recourse for Portland? I mean, if he says, "Oh, I'm not gonna play for anybody except for the team you trade me,"
I tell him, cool. I send him home and I sue him in court. That's what I do.
I know. I was like, so what is? They have no recourse other than that.
Because you do that and you go, look, I think Dame will play basketball. I think he will. I think this is an agent going further to make it the deal he wants because he wants to go to the team he wants to and does it. This only team that makes sense to trade him to for me is Utah. Brooklyn is a fallback because they have picks, and picks are what you really want. You want to get as many picks and pick swaps as you can, because those are what's going to give you value in the future. I know they just matched Matisse Thybulle from the Mavs, so that would tell you that they still want to be competitive and they're not tanking. They got Scoot Henderson. It means that they don't want to be a bottom 3 team next year. So that's where Philadelphia and Tyrese Maxey makes a little bit more sense. But I don't know if Philly has the picks and everything to make it work. Brooklyn, because they just made that trade for Kevin Durant, at least has Phoenix picks they can throw in.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, the Jazz clearly makes the most sense. They have young players, and they have a lot of picks. That to me, makes the most sense. And it gives him a chance to win, too. I think in Miami, you're also talking about guys that are on the back end of their career other than Bam. Like, Bam Adebayo is going to be awesome.
Yes. And you'll get 2 more years of Jimmy like this,
But
maybe.
Jimmy Butler and Damian Lillard.
Him and Jimmy are on the same clock, kind of.
Yeah, and it's not just clock, but it's injury clocks now, too. Can you play a full season? Can you be healthy at the right time? I mean, I get what he wants. That's not how life works.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating when somebody signs the deal, takes the money. Because if you want to go in free agency, I'm fine with it. I get it. That's your choice. That's how the system works. But to completely break the system because you suffered for 11 years in Portland is just crazy.
I know, and I thought it's crazy that he didn't have a no trade clause or wasn't able to negotiate one. I guess if you play if you negotiate with these tactics, you don't need a no trade clause.
Yeah.
He's basically got his own de facto no trade clause saying, I'm not going to play for anybody except for the team, y'all, that I want to be traded to.
Yeah, and I'll get
That's a no trade clause.
There's a thing, you can get mad at Bradley Beal as well. The difference is Bradley Beal doesn't have trade value the same way. So they could have gotten maybe another pick for him, but at the same part, they really wanted to move off that contract. So there was something in it where they wanted to move on in Washington. They were like, look, we shouldn't have signed that deal. That was our mistake. We'll figure this out. And so Bradley Beal did hold him a bit hostage because he had that no trade clause that they gave him for God knows what reason. But remember, Bradley Beal was picked in the same draft as Dame Lillard.
Yes.
And both of them this year are done. So 11 years, 11 seasons is roughly how long it takes for a loyal guy to not be loyal anymore. That's what we found out.
And
I mean, I think that's enough time
to see if you can build a championship around me. Yes.
No, but I get it. I get it. But I think you could have, before both of them signed that last contract, said, I've been miserable for 9 years.
Yeah, exactly. This is Dame Lillard's fault because he was too loyal and stuck around too long.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yeah,
it's not that he's too loyal. It's that money is very different.
No. He should not have signed that contract. This hardball negotiation should have taken place before he signed this brand new deal. Like I said, it is the woman or man who you've been dating who knew they wanted to break up with you a year ago and still signed a damn lease with you for a new place for 3 years, and you're like, and then breaks up and you're like, why couldn't you do that before you signed the damn lease? You knew you wanted to break up with me. That's Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard knew this was happening. We all knew this was happening.
No, but that's the thing is the way the CBA got rewritten a few years back was, hey, we're having trouble keeping stars in smaller markets. And they said, we will make a deal so you can give them more money than anybody else. So it's an incentive for them to stay. And what we have seen now is the new MO is I will sign that contract, wait 1 season, and ask out.
Yep.
So I want all of that money because if I leave, I will make $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 or $60 million less. So if I leave, I'll lose that money. And I'm too greedy to give up that money to get what I want. So I want my cake and I want to eat it too. And I just think if you continue to let that happen, this is the future of the NBA. Everyone will sign that contract and ask out. Every single, at least 80% of people will sign that big contract, demand a trade, say you cannot include any of the best players, and I want to go to
But like I said, what's the recourse for the team?
Send him home.
I know, but then you get the reputation as a team that is not player friendly.
Who's going to Portland anyway?
But I know myself. You add to it. Then you get the more reputation. Not only do I not want to go play in Siberia of NBA, but you're a bunch of a-holes and d-bags who I can't and won't work with.
I get the theory that hey, you're screwed if you do this. You're screwed if you do this. They're screwed either way. And I think you're doing more if you say, hey, hold out, and you hold out for 3 weeks, and Dame will go, yeah, trade me to Utah. And then I'll play there for a year, and then I'll ask for a trade out. But you can't, like, I get it. If he wants to go back and go, hey, we'll nullify the years on this contract and we'll restart, that's one thing. But you cannot ask for this Supermax contract knowing full well 2 years ago you were never going to stay in Portland.
I agree.
There was zero chance you were going to stay, but you wanted the money. And then when you want out, you want to screw the team on the way out?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Because if he goes to Utah and they get all the picks and they get fair value for him, even though it's somewhat still less, that's fair. And you go, cool, let's move both on. But to say you have to take Tyler Hero's bad contract.
He just doesn't want to end his career in Utah.
No, well, he doesn't want to. He wants what he wants. He wants his cake and eat it too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't want to be in Utah.
And so if we're going to say that all these other guys are bad guys, Dame Lillard is a bad guy. He is doing this where he is purposefully going out to ruin a small market franchise because he wants a shot to hang out with his friends, hang out in Miami, and he wants all the money.
I would say I'm not gonna go say he's a bad guy.
I don't mean like in.
I know
what you mean.
I think it's fair to say that we are classifying him as being loyal. That's his terms out there, and I think Patrick was like he's not that loyal.
No.
Like, he ain't that loyal.
He's going scorched earth on the way out.
His words say he's loyal, but the actions say he's not that loyal. So I agree with you. I'm with you. No,
yeah, to have a girlfriend that doesn't cheat on you for 10 years. And then 11 years be like, I'm leaving you and keeping the house for this better-looking man. By the way, you got to get out, and I got you fired.
Yeah.
I really don't know how this thing is going to end now. That's because now Dame is basically, I mean, that's kind of the nuclear option for him to say, I'm not playing for anybody but Miami, period.
Yeah.
And I don't know what Portland does with that. And I don't know. I'm with you. I wonder if Adam Silver is thinking to himself, all right, we gotta shift the balance of power a little bit here, and we can't have this what was supposed to be an incentive for players to stay with the small market teams now turn into kind of an albatross. So that was something that's imploding.
Yeah, because now you're paying them, you're putting this, and then you have to take contract back.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's
to
actually
make it
hurting
work.
you.
So now you got to take on this bad contracts you don't want.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also that thing of there's no tampering, but Bradley Beal's thing to Phoenix was also that Phoenix's general manager is related to Bradley Beal's agent.
Yeah.
So there was this whole thing of just say we're the only team you'll go to, and then we have every single chip in the book, and we'll give you what we can. But that's like, hey, I'm the only person here to buy cars today. I got $20 in my wallet. Like, well, that's a Lexus. I got $20 in my wallet. That's all I got. You have to give it to me now.
You gonna make that work for me?
Crazy.
No, he's. I did not think Dame was gonna play this kind of hardball, but it is pretty clear that he's willing to blow it all up. And I'm with you. I think Dame Lillard is gonna end up playing. I don't think there's any way he doesn't play basketball, no matter how it works out. But that definitely puts the Portland Trailblazers in a very, very difficult position. Sorry, go ahead.
I just think that throughout these years, and I understand where Patrick's coming from, but at the end of the day, the front office can make the decision to trade a player. They got rid of C.J. McCollum. You know what I'm saying? And that was Dame's partner. Like, they was in it to win it the entire time. And those both of them were saying that they wanted to stay. And they wanted to win in Portland. But now he wants to leave, and I'm not going to say it's scorched earth, but, I mean, I've done it all here. I've been here 11 years, and we haven't won anything.
Time to move on.
And I've been one of the best players in the league for a very long time. I just look at it a little bit different way.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
No, I see Dame's side, no question about it, and I understand this is business. This ain't personal.
No.
And I think some fans are taking it personally. I think Portland may take this personally, but there's no doubt in Patrick's point of view is that the perception is that, man, Dame Lillard's so damn loyal, man. Now they've been doing him dirty and they haven't been building a champion around him. All those things may be true, but him being loyal. Maybe he's not as loyal as we all,
right.
made him out to be.
That's very fair. And that's very fair.
Which you know what?
Yeah,
by the way, there ain't no loyalty in this game anymore.
No, not anymore.
It's misplaced most of the time.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
And I get it. It's just this theory. It's the thing of when the agents go and say there's no trade value. I'm demanding a trade to one team, and this is how we're going to screw up the NBA. Because it has a good competitive balance. Teams are going up and down. By the way, small market teams, you can never win.
Right.
And this is another sign of small market teams getting screwed and blamed for the fact that they're a small market team. And it's like, dude, you were the 6th pick. Dude, 5 other teams could have picked you. They didn't.
Mm-hmm.
They believed in you then. They believed in you when they paid you every contract. It's not a one-sided thing that they haven't put everything into you. And to be treated like they continuously screwed you over and you're allowed to now do whatever you want and you get a free pass. And if you're in the East, you got to be pissed off to go, wait, Miami gets a free one? Pat Riley somehow pulls off another trade for a superstar for undervalue like he did with Shaq and won a title?
Mm-hmm.
That Pat Riley somehow has this ability to not care about the rules? Hey.
Well, Pat Riley's is good at circumventing the rules. Finding
He
ways
is.
around
No, he
them.
does. But
Loopholes.
it's just frustrating to see somebody completely try and throw away everything that it means and not care about the city of Portland, not care about the fans, and then claim they're loyal.
Texter here says, talk with the Spurs, Portland. We did play the sound of Ramona Shelburne yesterday saying the Spurs, even if they're a third team that's involved in a Miami-Portland transaction or trade with Dame Lillard, they could be because they have a lot of assets and, and people obviously want draft picks. They got draft picks. They got assets. Ramona Shelburne even went as far to say that it could potentially, it's even out there, that it could be a straight-up trade between the Spurs and Portland because Dame Lillard really likes the Spurs. But now we know Dame Lillard don't like the Spurs as much because he ain't going to play for nobody except Miami. So he don't like them that much. The Spurs, they have been mentioned as one of those other teams that could be involved here. Let's talk about the Dallas Mavs, guys, because they made a move yesterday, and I think everybody, university, is applauding the move to trade for Grant Williams, who was acquired from Boston, a 3-team trade involving the Spurs. Actually, they got a 3-point shooter. Also, is some people's basically estimation is one of the best defensive players in the league. One of the big complaints about the Dallas Mavs is they don't have enough guys who are willing defenders who prioritize defense, and that is Jason Kidd's identity as a coach. He's always prioritizing defense. They get Grant Williams, who can obviously bolster their defense a little bit too. And you go look at the moves that the Dallas Mavs have made. And you go think about it, they basically came into the offseason with that number 10 pick overall and that 2027 first-round pick, and now they basically have turned that into getting Derek Lively the second and Max Prosper in the draft. They got Rashawn Holmes. Remember, that was that part of that trade. Yep. They just picked up Seth Curry, another shooter, helped them spread the floor. They got Grant Williams via a trade too. Mavs are making some good moves, some quality moves.
I like it. I like the fact
Luka.
that they're making that move because of the fact that they need help around Luka. You got Kyrie Irving coming back, who is obviously going to be a lot more focused now. I don't know to the depths of how long he going to play because, Kyrie makes some decisions and sometimes he's not there for it. But Grant Williams is a guy that you want. He's a, 3-and-D guy, and he's definitely a tougher kind of guy that you want around your team. He's going to play hard defense. We already know the situation with Luka and Kyrie. They don't really play a lot of defense, and you've been missing those types of players. So for the Maverick fans, I know that they seem to be a little bit more excited about the fact that they got Grant Williams.
Yeah, it adds toughness to a Mavericks team. That's what they want. They want to be tougher. It's a shame the Tybalt thing fell through because that's another really tough defensive player.
Too, yeah.
Portland matches on him, though. And for the Spurs part in it, they get Reggie Bullock, who is a veteran, kind of help him out, but he's 32 years old. He's on an expiring contract. It's over at the end of the year. Another guy that'll give them more cap space this offseason. And they get a 2030 pick swap with Dallas, which if we're going on the record of when Luka is a free agent in 2027, so 2 years after that when he demands his trade after signing his Supermax, it'll be 2029 and 2030 the Spurs will have a pick swap with them. So if you're the Spurs, 2030 is a decent year to have the Mavericks pick.
Yeah.
Man,
by the way, Mavs fans, I don't want that. That's why I'm ranting and raving about Dame Lillard now, is I think that's BS. I don't want that for you. But if you look at the trend right now, he signs his second deal in 2027, and then 2029 he will demand a trade. 2030 the Spurs have the pick. Just saying, if you're looking at it that way, if you're a Spurs fan.
And Wemby will be what, by that time, 26 or something?
Yeah. He'll be 20. Yeah.
He'll be 22.
25,
He'll be 22.
No, I'm just saying, but that's that. You get that pick swap out of it too for taking on a contract and making the trade viable. It's a great deal for the Spurs too.
It is a good deal for the Spurs, but we're not shocked. The Spurs make good deals. That's what they do. Everybody's worried about that small market stuff except the Spurs. It affects them, but they found ways to be almost immune to some of the issues that affect small market teams because they've been run so well. They made so many great decisions, trades. Also, Lady Luck has helped them in the lottery. That also helps. But they've been doing really good. And now, because of Wemby, once again, they don't have to worry about some of the same issues as small market teams like Portland because Wemby, his whole entire life, has always wanted to be a San Antonio Spur. It was his dream. Whose dream is it to be a Spur? Nothing against the Spurs. But usually you dream about being a Laker or a Celtic.
You know what his dream usually is? Guys like me.
Exactly.
Not going to help you win a lot of games.
you don't dream about being a Spur, but that's what he always wanted to be. So they don't have to worry about that anymore either. So that's the Mavs. I like the Mavs. And by the way, they brought back Kyrie. Is probably the biggest move. And I've heard, Harge, unfortunately, they are bringing back Dwight Powell. He's coming back. He's coming back, man.
Man, hey, Mavs fans.
He's coming back.
What do we got to do? Who does he have something over in the Mavs office?
I don't know. And they're bringing in big men, but they're still keeping Dwight Powell.
They're keeping him.
They are, man. They like him. They like him a lot.
He want him to teach him the ways of the Mavericks way. He wants to be that guy.
Oh, man.
He's a good culture guy.
Is he a good culture guy?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. They're trying to keep him around.
I thought you were being serious. I was like, maybe he's a good culture guy. That makes sense. That's why they kept him around.
He's definitely smart. He did go to Stanford. So they got to keep that basketball IQ in there, so that might have to be part of it.
Mo Bamba, gentlemen, I know it's been a lot of talk about Mo Bamba, but he agreed on a one-year deal with Philadelphia?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, I thought there were some other teams I thought maybe interested in Mo Bamba.
I know that the Bulls wanted him, and I thought he was going to go to Houston, to be quite honest with you.
Houston could have used the team I was going to bring up.
And Dallas is a name that came up a bunch. It came up in the trade deadline last year. It came up before he got cut that they should trade for him. They need another big, and they did not go for him.
Did not make the move.
And I get that he is not the strongest defender, and if you're trying to just bring in toughness right now, that's the thing, is you didn't want to bring in a guy that you feel you have to convince to play defense. I get it. But if you don't want to try and develop players, then you shouldn't be a head coach in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
That is a huge part of, especially if you're Dallas and have not gotten a top free agent. You got Luka Doncic. You got to develop some players. I thought he had the skills you want to do that. He's going to go to Philadelphia, play behind Joel Embiid. It's a good pickup for them.
Smart.
And he'll get to have fun with Pat Bev in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Pat Bev.
But also, if you look at what Philadelphia is doing, I believe that's another one-year deal. Philadelphia is making a lot of cap room for next season.
What's the plan, you think?
I think they're open to trying to get another guy but they're trying not to take on any other contracts. They also have not extended Tyrese Maxey because they don't want his big number to be there until after the fact, so they can try and get somebody else and then extend him over the bird rights. There's a lot that they're working on, but if you see a lot of these veteran minimum deals that are being signed, they're signing them a 1 year with a player option on the second, or a 2-year deal, or trying to sign something like that. With a lot of the guys they're signing, they're 1 year deals because I think they want to clear a lot of their books after next season.
Is it based on the new CBA, just kind of seeing how it affects things?
I think it is. I think
plays?
It's Daryl Morey being a couple steps ahead and being like, look, we know we're going to make it next year and we're winning a title,
We'll go all in.
and then I can re-sign everybody.
Yeah.
Or
we're going to rebuild.
Or we know we're not there and we're going to have to move some things, but we'll have cap flexibility, and that gives you so many more options.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I think a lot of teams are either in the all-in phase, or it's like, are we rebuilding? All in or rebuild?
Are we going all in or are we rebuilding?
Because
I think a lot of people are saying rebuild.
Yeah, because the new CBA, I don't know if it's going to allow you to stay in the middle ground and for too long. I mean,
it's you just have to you have to pay the floor. But the Spurs are playing the floor this year by paying Devontae Graham $8 million.
But the
Now they're
Rockets
paying Reggie Bullock $9 million.
Yeah.
It's like you can get guys and hit the floor pretty easily and not compete.
Yeah.
But you do want to, if you're the 76ers and you have an MVP on your team,
you all in.
Your window time. Your window's open. You guy just won MVP, so you gotta put some stuff in.
I totally agree with that. Yep. Just about the Rockets, I was looking at them. The Rockets, remember they had like $60 million to spend, and a lot of the money they spent was because they had to reach that floor of the salary cap floor of the new CBA too. So they're not there, but also they still got about $12 million in cap space. The Rockets do. So, I don't know, they still may be out there to make a little move. I don't know what great free agents are left. I think P.J. Washington might be the best free agent left
P.J. Washington.
Is he still out there?
I mean,
No, but yeah, there's not.
they're gonna
Yeah.
take that.
It ain't out. It
He's
ain't
gonna
allowed
be
to go
like
to
the
free
running
agents.
back position. They're gonna wait till the last minute to
What was
sign
that?
him.
That shows you about the market
Yeah,
that he may be the
exactly.
best remaining free agent. I don't know if he is or not, but he
Yeah.
may be the best. All right, that's a little NBA discussion there. We come back. We'll get into Texas basketball commitment. Also give you the latest on the Wemby, Britney Spears, Vegas controversy. Yep, that's a real thing. We'll give you the updates on the other side right here on Ball Don't Lie, 104 down the horn. Hey, what's up, folks? Lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers here. We all know that Austin is a beautiful city, thanks in no small part to the skilled craftsmanship of Ironworkers Local 482. They don't go to the office, they build it. They've been helping shape Greater Austin since 1935, and you see the labors of their love all over this great city and iconic landmarks you may be driving by right now and not even know it, like DKR Stadium and the Pennebaker Bridge. And as our city continues to grow and thrive, so do our good friends at Ironworkers Local 482. If you're looking for an exciting new career and you want something that will challenge you, something new, something fresh, how about becoming a valued member of Ironworkers Local 482 and accepting the challenge of becoming the best version of yourself while helping shape Austin's economic development? Right now, they're hiring over 3,000 people for a huge project right here in Central Texas, and you can become a valued member of Ironworkers Local 482 and take pride in the type of teamwork and craftsmanship that helps shape the future of our great city. To join this prestigious organization, all you got to do is reach out today at ironworkers482.org. That's ironworkers482.org. Welcome back to Ball Don't Lie right here on 104.9 The Horn. New theme Thursday. The Idillionaire Patrick Davis plays songs and selections that's supposed to provide clues and hints to Harj and I about the new theme of the day. And it's all about kissing, smooching. The International Kissing Day is today. And my man Patrick playing all songs that reference little lip lock going on.
And then, This Is Kiss.
So you didn't have to. The band, not the song.
Yes.
Brilliant.
We got it.
That's good. I like that. Does Kiss have a song about kissing?
I they got Lick It Up.
Oh well, I don't know if that's not necessarily about kissing.
That's about as close as I think I can get. Top of my head.
I was saying with Kiss, that could mean a lot of things. So.
Oh yes, it could.
Because Kiss is wild.
Kiss is wild. All right. Also, something that's wild. The Wemby Mania.
Oh my goodness.
I am loving this, man. So if you haven't heard, guys, folks out there listening, there's been a bit of a controversy with Wemby in Las Vegas. So apparently, Britney Spears, her entourage, and Wemby's entourage and security detail were both trying to frequent the restaurant Catch in Vegas. And Britney, who we learned apparently is a Victor Wembanyama fan, she tried to approach Victor, tried to penetrate the security detail, and asked for a photo, a selfie, whatever. She claims she tapped him on the back, or at least this story says she tapped him on the back of the right shoulder. And at that time, TMZ is reporting that the director of team security for the San Antonio Spurs basically backhanded her, is what they claim, causing her to fall to the ground, knocking off her glasses. They updated their story to say that the security detail member, head of the security detail, director of security detail for the Spurs was Damian Smith. And allegedly, he is the one that allegedly hit or backhanded Britney Spears. They also claim that he did go over to their table. After the incident went down, apparently the security guy did go over to the table of Britney Spears after she composed herself. And he said he apologized. And after that, apparently there was a security or a police report filed by her people, by Britney Spears' people. And the TMZ report is claiming that there will be a criminal investigation.
Yep.
Because they're going to take it very seriously. That's the update here. And then Wemby responded by saying, basically, I didn't know who it was. I was being told to keep moving by my security. I didn't even know till like 2-3 hours later in my room that, first of all, somebody had been hit, and then that it was indeed Britney Spears who had been hit.
Right. So Wemby did nothing in this. So it's all about all about the security. It's not Wemby's fault. He was ushered out. It was all this. But Britney Spears came back and said, I'm going to give you the whole statement now because I read you part of it before. Now I'm going to give you the whole statement. Traumatic experiences are not new to me, and I've had my fair share of them. I was not prepared for what happened to me last night. I recognized an athlete in my hotel lobby, her hotel lobby, by the way, as I was heading to dinner. I later went to a restaurant at a different hotel, and I saw him again. I decided to approach him and congratulate him on his success. It was really loud, so I tapped him, her words, so I tapped him on the shoulder to get his attention. My question, Brittany, was he sitting down? Because if he was standing up, he's 7'5". I don't know if you would have been able to get there. But I digress. I am aware that the player's statement where he mentions I grabbed him from behind, quote, end quote, but I simply tapped him on the shoulder. His security then backhanded me in the face without looking back in front of a crowd, nearly knocking me down and causing my glasses off my face. See, I'm confused about that. She said, and causing my glasses off my face.
She meant to come off her face.
Yeah, knock them off. Knock them off. I get sworn by people all the time. In fact, that night, I was sworn by a group of 20, at least 20 fans. My security team did not hit them. This story is super embarrassing to share with the world, but it's out there already. However, I think it's important to share this story and to urge people in the public eye to set an example and treat all people with respect. Physical violence is happening way too much in this world, often behind closed doors. I stand with all the victims, and my heart goes out to all of you. I've yet to get a public apology from the player,
Uh-huh.
his security, or his organization.
No, that's crazy security.
But I hope they will. Right. You stated
The TMZ story stated that.
that they went back over there and apologized to her.
TMZ
And it's
said.
been out there for a while.
Okay.
I cherish the tremendous amount of love and support I've been receiving at this moment. Thank you to the Las Vegas PD and the detectives for their support.
Wemby claims he was grabbed. She said she tapped.
Yes.
You're saying
On the shoulder.
You're saying you believe Wemby's account more than her because she's 5'4", he's 7'3", and how the hell
How
could
you tap him on the shoulder without being aggressive? Because you're going to have to jump up there. And how did you get the
work
space?
through? You got to work through the
Yes.
security detail. You got to
Yes.
finagle your way through that group and penetrate
Yes.
that group first.
Well, and someone else may have grabbed him 2 seconds later, or somewhere else. Like he was walking through a crowd. Multiple people could have grabbed him.
That's
and
true,
he could have
too.
been like, I felt the grab, and that
Yeah.
wasn't her.
Yep.
She could have touched. It could all be true. This is the point of, you can tell hers is from a storyline where she is the central character in the story of the world. Where I was doing this, and I went up to someone who clearly had a security detail pushing him through a crowd and went, now's a good time to approach him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, that part boggles my mind if you've been in the business as long as you have. Be like, oh, no, when he sits down, I'll go tell my waiter or whatever. We're going to the same restaurant. So I'll go tell him, like, hey, is Victor Wembanyama? Hey, send them a drink from Britney Spears, and then we'll do this whole thing. Because I'm an adult, and that's how we deal with things. But if I see security detail, if I see Rod Babers with a security detail pushing him down a hallway, I'm going to be like, Rod, we got to talk now. Rod. I'm going to know. Oh, man, I'll text him later because he seems pretty busy.
And she should be used to that because she
Yes.
often has security detail, which she
Yes.
just admitted in the statement that Harge read. And also, we did not play, but earlier we did. We didn't play it this segment. There was a witness that was interviewed by TMZ who claims that Britney Spears did indeed use a British accent the entire time.
Yes.
While trying to get the attention of Victor Wembanyama, even after she was slapped in the face and her glasses were thrown off of her face or knocked off of her face, she said, "This is effing America," in a British accent.
Hey, man, she got to stay in character.
That to me,
She stayed in character.
that's the biggest mystery, and I need more details about that. I also will say if she wasn't using the British accent, which I think she uses so she can be incognito and people won't notice her.
Yeah,
right?
she wearing like a wig.
Yes, she used a British accent, and it's like if you'd just been acting like Britney, maybe we would have recognized Britney.
Yeah, you should have
Nobody-
been singing to him.
British Britney, we don't recognize. Nobody knows
we
who the hell
don't know
British
British
Britney is,
Britney.
man. That's wild.
I do also love when she's like, my security has never hit anyone, and her security is like, oh, we hit a lot of people.
Yes, you just
for the
didn't know
record,
about
we
it.
hit a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't think you got hit as bad as we have hit some people.
They just haven't been famous, Britney. We slapped a lot of people. They just ain't
Yeah,
famous.
hey man, there's been some perverts
Yes.
around you that we have removed and dealt with properly.
Oh man. Oh, that story is fantastic.
It is, and it's going to keep going, too, because the game is tomorrow night. Don't forget.
Ooh,
we
Britney
still
should
have
go to the
another
game.
day.
He's got multiple games in Vegas. Well, it's
Yeah.
sold out, Rod.
Yeah.
Whoa, Britney can get tickets.
Hey,
It's Britney.
we don't know.
Right?
We don't
Come
know.
on, man,
Which
that's
Britney is it? Was she trying to talk to him?
It ain't British Britney.
in that accent?
No, we need
because
pop Britney.
Yeah.
Pop Princess Britney.
I like that one.
You have the tickets for the game tomorrow for Victor Wembanyama's debut, $186 on average, and the highest ticket price for his summer league debut, $617, gentlemen. Wow.
That's a lot of money.
I'm
to
gonna
go
watch it
him
on
play.
ESPN. Doesn't it come on 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
8 o'clock
Yeah.
ESPN.
Yeah.
There we go.
That'll be the
Thankful.
safest way to watch it, and it's all in the budget.
I will say this: I guarantee we will see Britney Spears at a Spurs game next year.
You
Next
think
season.
I don't know if it's a home game though, man. I'm telling you. No, she's gonna be in Dallas. Mark Cuban's getting her, dude. Mark Cuban's gonna get her. So
Either
fuel
way.
mass
And do
hatred
you
of
think,
Victor
I was just
Wembanyama.
going to say,
honestly,
do you
I'd
think
rather-
the Spurs fans are going to let her come there after they trying to, they feel like he's being railroaded right now because
Okay.
it wasn't even his fault.
I think the Spurs may invite her just as a public relations, kind of olive branch of sorts.
I will tell you this for sure. The Coyote's gonna do a sketch about it.
Yes, exactly.
100%. The
Oh,
Coyote
yeah,
is
the
going to get
Coyote.
grabbed
Oh,
by somebody.
And we already know what the song will be. Thanks, Texter. Hit me, baby, one more time.
Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
we know it.
We
There
did
you
it.
go.
There you go.
All right, we'll come back. We'll wrap it
We're
up
not
and put
good.
it in the oven. What the 5 fingers say to the face? Slam. We'll be right back. This is Baldo Loud, Wonderful, Not the Horn. All right, welcome back to Ball Don't Lie right here on 104.9 The Horn. Time to wrap it up and put it in the oven. Before we do, we'll let you know what's on tap. Guys, real quick before we tell everybody what's on tap, can I just bring up this story real quick? Y'all know that white party that Michael Rubin threw where all the celebrities were there? I mean, everybody who was anybody was at this white party. You know who kicked it at the white party, reportedly? The GOAT, Tom Brady, and Kim Kardashian.
Oh.
Yeah, sources allege that the duo was seen during the day on the beach together and dancing again at night. Oh, man. An insider claim Tom Brady is just, this is a crazy quote. How about this, guys? It's an insider claim that the NFL legend Tom Brady is just Kim Kardashian's type. What you talking about? Just her type. She dated Kanye. What's his name? Humphreys? Was it Chris?
She done
Chris
dated
Humphreys?
everybody from Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush? What do you mean? Tom Brady. Everybody's her
Ray
type.
J.
If you're famous and you got money, you are Kim's type. What you talking about, Tom? Of course he's her type. He's got money and he's famous. That's her type.
Man.
She ain't dated no just regular jabroni. I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no, you know what I'm saying?
That's why Kanye made that song.
Come on, man. That is crazy.
Lord.
Okay, are we rooting for this or against it? We need to know. For or against Tom Brady and Kim? Not
I'm
marrying
all
each
in.
other.
I'm
just
all
hooking
in.
up.
I'm all in.
I'm all in, so I want to see it.
I want to see
I
how.
wanna see it.
Look, if it
I wanna
keeps him,
see him
if
on
it
that.
keeps him further away from me having to listen to him talk on Sports Pride, and I look again, I'll tell you, I think this guy's gonna have great insight. I cannot stand his voice.
Oh, he's going. Oh, yeah. I think it's next year, right? He's going to start up in it. Yeah.
So go get,
Possibly.
get
They're
in a
still trying to
scandal.
figure out, too,
I think
because
he's
of
going to
his.
take 1 year off and then he's going to start up.
Then he's gonna
Yeah.
do it, but
Yeah.
he said he was gonna be with his kids, but he's gonna be keeping up with the Kardashians.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, he
And
might
all her
be on that
kids.
show.
Oh, for sure.
Ooh, him and Tristan. You know Tristan, Dirty Dog, is still on that show.
Oh, Dirty Dog is
He
still
getting
in
checks,
the game, bro.
collecting them checks. Hey, Tristan, he was playing the long game. We were all missing for. He's playing the long game here, man.
He know what he doing.
He know what he's doing.
Miss
That's why
Parker
the
know
girls.
what
Is that
she
why the
doing.
girls like him because he plays the long game?
We'll end it on that note. All right, what's on tap for you today, Harj?
I'm going to watch the Rangers are taking on the Red Sox right now in Fenway, and it's a tie ball game 1-1, and I'm going to go home and finish watching the Astros play tonight, too.
Astros. I like that. Patrick, what about you? What's on tap, brother?
Instant Serious.
Nice.
Tonight at 8 o'clock. I'm sure I'll yell more about Dame Lillard. It just seems like it's gonna happen.
Are you going to talk about Wemby and Britney Spears?
Oh, I'm sure it'll come up.
Come on.
Look, I know my co-host texted me this morning. Hey, look at this! I got so many texts this morning. People just loving the show. I'm like, Wemby didn't do anything.
And the
Y'all
Spurs
get away
fans are
from him.
loving it, right? Spurs fans are into this.
I don't know. I think some are. I think some
Okay.
of us are a little protective right now.
Oh,
Like, come on, man. And Wemby,
Yeah.
you trying to drag his name through the mud already?
He didn't do anything.
He didn't do
though.
anything.
It
He
was the
did nothing.
Spurs security guy. By the
Yeah.
way, I want to know this security guy, like how much. I don't know how much burden he's going to have on him now.
Unemployed.
Because even if he did it on accident, now the question is, did he escalate it? Do you need
Yeah,
to?
that video is gonna be big.
It's going to be
Yeah.
big.
You know
Yes.
there's video, and you know there's got to be fan video of it too.
Oh, no doubt.
If he's walking through,
With
someone's got
Britney
their phone
and
out.
Victor?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't even hit the webs yet.
Like, I
yeah.
wonder,
Somebody gonna get
TMZ they're asking high prices at TMZ.
You're right. It probably TMZ probably confiscated everybody's phones. It was like, you know what? We will pay big money to whoever got that footage.
Yep.
I'm watching a show with Seth Rogen on Apple called Platonic. Not bad. It's not a bad show. It's a
With
comedy.
Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
And I think I've seen previews
Yes,
of it where it's like a
it's with the
best
lady
friend.
from it's the lady
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
what's the name of the movie?
The one that he
Bridesmaids.
was in?
From
What?
Bridesmaids. Remember the woman from Bridesmaids,
Oh,
a British
okay.
woman?
Yeah.
She's in it too.
Well, I
and
think
pretty
she's
funny.
also in another show with him.
She might be. Yeah,
She was
you're
his
right.
wife.
You could be right about that.
She was his wife because they were living next door to the college kids, Zac Efron and all of them.
You're right about that.
Roseburn.
Yes.
Roseburn.
Yes.
Yes.
Roseburn is her name.
Yes,
Yes.
you're right. You're right. It's Neighbors or something like
Yeah,
that.
Neighbors, yeah.
Yes. Good job. Good job.
Yep.
All right. I want to thank you guys out there for listening and all your participation. Remember, the revolution will be televised. Talk about it right here on Ball Don't Lie. We love you guys. Mean that. Peace.